We're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Claret and Booze. You're joining us this evening for the Claret and Booze up, the last Claret and Booze up of the season, and probably the last one until next season because we're going to have a few weekends off.
Amateurs.
Going to have a few weekends off. But thanks for joining us. Like I say, there probably will be a few more people joining as well, so it's going to get a bit chaotic, I expect. But why not? You know, it is the end of the season. Have a little party, have a little drink. So, John, going to introduce everyone. John, how are you, mate? You all right?
Yeah, mate, I'm good. Thanks for inviting me back.
That's right, mate. Thanks for
appreciate the link being sent to me in good time. I'm glad I could be a part of this Claret and Booze Friday night finale. I'm glad you welcomed me on with the others. Thanks.
I'm glad you could make it, mate. I'm glad you could make it. Gary, how are you?
I'm good. I'm looking forward to this. It feels like the Christmas party all over again.
It does. It does.
All these faces on the screen.
It's going to get messy.
Yeah, Scrooge is definitely here.
Yeah. Grant, how are you?
I'm really good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. There was a bit of a mix-up with your invite this evening, wasn't there? You got invited, and then Gary and John forgot to invite you.
It's an age thing, isn't it, mate?
but thanks for joining us anyway. Phil, how are you?
Very good. Thanks for enjoying. Thanks for inviting me.
I enjoy you very much, Phil. I enjoy you very much. And last but by no means least, Nigel, where are you?
I'm in my shed.
Hey. You're right.
Where's the
You're
music?
good.
Fucking hell.
I know. Was it shit, man?
That's it. Thank you.
That's it. There you go. All done. Right. So this evening we're going to be running through a few bits and pieces. You'll be pleased to know it's been quite a few weeks. How long has it been? But the old mock the week's back. So John's going to be doing his mock the week sort of midway through the show. Have we got a cock of the week this week, John?
Possibly. I'm thinking on my feet. There's quite a few contenders, but
yeah, there are.
On my feet, yeah, there's a few faces on here that could be, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to.
He did look down then. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to be looking back over the season, having a little chat about how we think we've done and what went wrong and how bad January was and stuff like that.
Keep it light. Keep it light, Nick.
And then we're going to basically move on, talk about the game at the weekend. Well, we'll have a talk about things in general because there's a lot going on this weekend. You got who's it? You got Leeds and Burnley that could get relegated. Yeah. You got the funniest one for me is the Spurs Arsenal one because Spurs all week long have been giving it massive. They've made top four already. They have made top four already. But imagine, right, if it was any other team that was facing Norwich on the final day to secure top four, I'd go, yeah, no problem at all. But this is Spurs. This is Spurs we're talking about, isn't it?
It'd be the best thing ever. It'd be the funniest thing ever.
It'd be amazing. Yeah. It'd be amazing. Yeah, and obviously we've got the you got the title race as well, and most importantly, is that top six race for us. Who's going to make it? I mean, you've got Man United Palace. I mean, Vieira. Is there any risk that he's going to get in trouble? Do you think for what happened the other day?
Wouldn't have thought so. I mean, he didn't do anything wrong. I mean, I thought it was a perfect tackle. Wasn't even a yellow card, was it? I mean,
it was Vieira-like, wasn't there? Because the ball weren't in view.
No, I know. Do you think he's going to get punished for that though?
Why should he?
Yeah.
Why should he? The guy was right in his face. The guy was actually touching him. He deserved. I mean, he's lucky he didn't get a right hand of the bloke.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think the authorities need to do something about it because obviously we've all ran on the pitch in the past, in the old days and all that. But all this week you've had Sheffield United Forest fans ran on the pitch at the end and Billy Sharp was pushed flying and Ollie McBurney started kicking someone on the floor. Then you had the incident with Vieira and I think he was provoked and I don't think you're going to be able to. They probably will look to maybe make an example of him, but I think the stewarding's got to be looked at. If incidents like that are going to happen, there's nothing wrong with people going on the pitch, but if things like that happen, then you've got to stop it, yeah.
Stewards are not going to stop it though, John, are they? And minimum wage stewards are not going to stop it these days. I mean, why would you? I mean, I think it's a very difficult thing to stop. When we used to run on the pitch in the last game of the season, everyone knew it was going to happen, and you remember as soon as that whistle went, all those players legged it to the tunnel. The home players, the away players, and everything, got off the pitch. Now it's taken them by surprise. So Vieira the other night, I felt kind of sorry for him last night because he was surrounded by people goading him into his face.
I guarantee you, he's going to get an example made of him. Though I think he is.
Shouldn't happen.
What do you reckon?
I don't think he will. I'll tell you why, because he can just point to what happened with Billy Sharp. I mean, Billy Sharp had to have stitches, you know. I mean, I know that was extreme, and I think in the Northampton, Mansfield Town, Northampton fans assaulted a couple of Mansfield Town players. Oh, you know, he could easily point to that and say, well, I didn't know what he was going to do or whatever. So
that is going to happen at some point. If you keep on getting this, if it becomes a trend, and it looks like it is becoming a trend, at some point, players are going to start getting attacked, aren't they?
Well, I think they already almost have. I mean, even when Frankfurt ran on the pitch, they were in Antonio's face.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Someone bloke runs up to him, films him, and he goes, well, you know, I'm doing good for money. I don't think he was really in his face. Look at Kufal. Kufal just carried on walking. I think it was totally different. The Frankfurt one, I think was totally different.
I'll tell you what, Nigel, you've caught me out completely because all I was doing there was repeating a tweet rather than seeing the evidence.
Oh, right. Well, yeah.
Didn't we get threatened with points when we've had pitch invasions in the past, and we were threatened with point deductions and massive fines?
It's different for us, though, isn't it? It's different for us.
Yeah.
But ours was done during a game being played. I think there's a difference between having pitch invaders while games being played to after the game's finished.
Yeah.
You know, it's but me, I quite enjoy them. If you strip out the fact that there's one or two idiots, you know, there's probably 6,000 to 8,000, 10,000 people have gone on the pitch at Everton, and we're looking at the one idiot. And if you look, an Everton fan's gone up to Vieira and said, "Come and told the geezer at the weapon and pulled him away." You know, we don't focus on that Everton fan; we focus on the idiot that was goading. And that's society. That ain't a football thing. That's that's kids who want to be on Instagram and on Twitter and all that. That's.
I'll tell you what. Let's just silent for a moment and just respect the achievement of Frank Lampard, because when he first joined Everton, they were 4 points outside the bottom three, or 5 points outside the bottom three, and now after all these games, they're 4 points outside the bottom three. So I'd like to give a big round of applause to Frank Lampard. Well done, Frank. Brilliant. Well worth a pitching, baby.
Well done, Frank.
While we're here, then, can we not do the same for Patrick Vieira? Because Patrick Vieira has been nominated for Manager of the Year, and he's took Crystal Palace, who were playing rubbish football, and finished 14th with Roy Hodgson, and he's took them to 14th place.
What an achievement!
Well, obviously,
well done, Patrick. It's brilliant.
Well done, Patrick. Manager of the Year.
I mean, the thing is, for Moyes, and that isn't just us being biased, but for him to not even be on that list is a joke. It's a joke, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Let's stick to that trend, and we're going to do our show back to front. So, 1 minute, where are we? Let's do our predictor now. Get that out of the way.
Bloody hell.
It's too early for the predictor.
It's not. No, we're going to do it now as we're talking about it. So let's talk about the juicy games first. So do you want to start with relegation?
Yeah. Grant on first. Go on, Grant's first prediction.
Go on then. So Grant, Leeds away to Brentford. What do you reckon now?
2-1 Brentford. Leeds are gone.
You think Brentford will do them?
Yeah, I think Brentford are playing too well. You can say, they got nothing left to play for and it doesn't matter, but I think they're too strong. Leeds aren't, Leeds are pretty awful. Who's even actually playing with their suspensions and injuries? They're patching the side together. So, I don't think they'll handle Tony and Ericsson. There's just too much quality in that Brentford side.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think Leeds are pretty much done. I mean, Burnley have got their hands full at home to Newcastle, who looked absolutely mustard the other night, didn't they? Against Arsenal. I mean, Arsenal were woeful, but Newcastle didn't half look good. So what do you reckon, Phil, with a Burnley Newcastle game?
I don't think it'll matter the outcome because I agree. I think Leeds are going to lose. But that said, They've been doing all right, Burnley. Newcastle are on a roll. Their tails are up as well, and we all know confidence is a massive boost playing a game. But
Yeah.
I wouldn't write off Burnley. They know that they are clinging to this league by the skin of their teeth at the moment.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past a draw there. I wouldn't. A 1-1.
Okay. 1-1. Right. But basically, if Leeds lose, they're down, aren't they? As simple as that.
Yeah.
Right now, the big one. This is a juicy one, I think. And we're going to go to Nigel. Manchester City versus Villa. Is Gerrard going to do all he can for to help out his old team? What do you reckon?
1-1.
You reckon that's a 1-1?
That's what I would say as well. That's what I would say.
He rested a lot of players the other night, didn't he, Gerrard?
Yeah.
I think he wants to pay back.
Blooded some youngsters, yeah.
Yeah,
He wants to pay back
what's he resting them for? He's resting them for.
He is 100%.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, do you reckon? I mean, that time he fell over when what's his name, Eric's player, went in and scored the winner, and he lost them the league.
Demba Ba.
Yeah.
He's got a chance of paying that back, hasn't he?
He has.
Well, I suppose, yeah.
Not for me. I mean, personally speaking, Man City were 2-0 down against us and then went, fuck, we're in trouble here. And if that penalty goes in, it's all over. A fantastic save. I can't see Villa getting an upset there. I really can't.
Yeah, but they came back through pretty much a lucky shot from Grealish and an own goal from Soufal. So I wouldn't read too much into that.
We are better defensively than Villa all day long, though, Gary.
We are, but a one-off game, last game of the season, when everything's riding on it and every game is live and they're going to be going around. You know what it's like last game of the season.
And it's live. Yeah.
Man U versus West Ham, 1995.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ludo.
Yes, very true.
Right, John, Liverpool, the other one. Liverpool versus Wolves.
I mean, he sort of did a bit of rotation the other night, didn't he? Klopp, he had a few, I suppose what you say, squad players playing. I think they'll win. Wolves have been a bit lackluster the last few games, so I can see a comfortable 2-0 for Liverpool.
They're going to win comfortably, aren't they?
2-0, but a comfortable 2-0, I think.
Yeah. Right, the other one. We'll go Arsenal, Everton to Gary. Bearing in mind, Everton still haven't come back from being out on the piss. They've been out, so they're going to be a little bit jaded come the weekend. So what do you reckon with Arsenal, Everton?
Walk in the park, 2-0.
2-0 Everton, 2-0 Arsenal, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. I'll take Norwich Spurs. So yeah, I'm not just going to say this just because it's the rules and Tottenham can't ever win, but I genuinely think it's going to be Norwich 2, Tottenham 1.
Sure, Nick. Is that hope?
I get a pint of what you're drinking, mate.
I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
Norwich that have won 2 games in the last 20.
Yeah.
But can I ask you,
finish though?
But you know,
Norwich signed some players since they played us, or what?
If this, Nigel, if this happened, if you look at, if you could put Spursy in a scale, where would this be? Where would this sit? This kind of as a fuck up for Spurs if they got
the ultimate. I mean, that would be the ultimate to lose to the bottom team that have won 5 games all season that have got minus 56 goal difference.
Listen, my lad said to me the other day. He said Norwich. It says their goal difference is minus 56. That's wrong, isn't it? And I was like, that is a lot, isn't it? I had to look it up to double check it. I was like, no, that's right. No, they aren't that bad. So,
let's face it, they were totally rubbish against us. But the thing is with football, right? And I know they had a lot of injuries against us because they had a really weak back line. They were playing a lot of replacements. Even our old left back, who wasn't good enough for us, was playing centre half, right? Yeah. So I don't know what their injury situation is tomorrow, but football, last game of the season, anything can happen, and that would be the ultimate embarrassment for Spurs. The ultimate Spursy.
Well, they've had another lasagna gate by all accounts today. There's 3 out with food poisoning.
Really?
Or something.
Fantastic.
I've heard it, yeah. I think Kane's one of them.
This is brilliant. Who's one of them? Kane?
I believe so, yeah.
Oh, look, it would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Apparently, Kane's not very well. It's affecting his speech or something like
that. He's slurring his words.
Yeah.
Right, Grant from Bicester. We're going to go for the big one now. We're going to get the important games. Right, Crystal Palace versus Man United. What are you expecting there?
Come on, Grant.
That's a weird one, isn't it? Because Palace obviously played last night, and Man United haven't played for 2 weeks. But United have been on the beach since Christmas.
United are shit.
Yeah, I was speaking to a diehard Man United fan at work, and he's like, yeah, they can't play any of the players. Lingard can't play. He's not going to be there next year. Can't play anyone that's not going to be there next year. They're all playing for Ten Hag. And I'm like, Ten Hag's not the manager yet. He ain't saying it's still Ralph. So,
yeah.
2-0 up against Everton, I thought Palace were nailed on to collapse like that.
I know.
Yeah.
You could tell me any result in this one, and I believe you.
But I'll say, how about we go with the result that we need, Grant? Come on.
Yeah, no, the result we need is probably the likely one, and we'll go with 2-2.
You reckon 2-2?
Yeah,
I think that's a sensible one. Should we go with these games? I'll tell you what, we'll go for an average. Go on, Phil. What would you say?
I'll say 2-1 to Palace.
2-1 to Palace. Nigel?
Well, I did this in Super 6. I put 1-0 Palace.
Oh, he's got for a Palace win. Gary?
I'll go for a Palace win as well. I'll go 2-0.
Come on, the Nigels.
Go on, John.
You honestly don't think United can score?
I think.
I think
said
goals
2-1.
are guaranteed. Yeah, no, yeah.
2-1.
I can't see United getting no goals. They're going to score, whatever happens.
Yeah, but
can I just ask, what makes you think goals are guaranteed in a team that, as you say, have been on the beach for a while now? This last
Ronaldo.
game of the season,
Ronaldo.
Yeah.
that's if he plays.
yeah,
That's if he plays.
I know what you mean, but if he does play, they score. I think generally, because
Yeah.
for as bad as Man United have been, Ronaldo has still scored a lot of goals, isn't he?
Yeah. Yeah.
We're talking about Palace that played last night and conceded 3 at Everton. And I know United, all the issues, everything that's there, but there'll be goals.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. At the end of the day, we've all basically said that Man United are not winning. So I'll go with Grant's original one. What was that? 1-1 or 2-2?
2-2, yeah, and I think they'll be definite.
So we'll go for a 2-2. And Nigel, Brighton versus West Ham.
The Stripey Vegans. I tell you, I believe in us. I think it's a 2-0 win to West Ham.
Go on, Nigel. Do the hammers as well. Do the hammers on as well,
Yeah.
Nigel. Go
on, Phil. What are you saying?
This could be incorrect, but I heard somewhere the other day that we've not beaten them in the Premiership.
No,
ever.
we've not.
No, we haven't. No,
not in the Premier League.
So I'd love to break that down. I'm a gambler. I always go against the run. So I'm going to go for a nervy 2-1 win.
So we're going for a win. Like it. John?
1-0, Antonio.
Bosh. Gary?
3-0 West Ham.
Oh, fucking hell. Go
on, Grant.
It's two sides that don't want the ball. Both want to play on the counter attack.
True.
So
yeah,
it might not get out of the centre circle. You know what I mean? It's like this is us. You know what? After everything, I think 1-0 to us.
We're going to win
because we have to, because this is as big as Lyon away. You know, everything is on the line, isn't it? So.
And that's the problem with you, Grant. You always apply logic and reason.
I know he does. He's too logical.
Brighton have scored 16 goals at home. That's all.
Yeah, they are poor at home. Yeah,
4 of them were against Man United in the last
game.
How many against? How many conceded?
What, at home?
Yeah.
Oh, don't give me off.
I mean, if you look at their results, 11 wins, 15 draws, and 11 losses, that kind of sums Brighton up, doesn't it? That's kind of, that's what you'd almost expect of them.
Yeah, most of their inconsistencies been at home. That's why.
Yeah, they've been good away, haven't they? Up until United, they've been. Yeah.
When they beat Man United last week, the players and the manager afterwards were so. Like they was almost relieved that they've managed to give, the majority of their fans, the home fans, a win that they'd been craving, because as Nigel said, they've won hardly any at home, so they've been terrible at home.
Crystal Palace have to win or have to do. No, they have to draw at least to try and. I think they're level on points with Brighton at the moment, right?
No, they're 3 points behind. Palace have to win. I know
Oh, they
Brighton
lost.
got nothing.
Palace have to win to go above Brighton. So
Yeah.
that is the carrot for Palace. And Palace, I mean, look, they've just got stuffed by Everton last night and had their face rubbed in it. If they're not angry, I don't know what will make them angry.
No, I'll tell you what is interesting about this when you look at this. So, do you think there's ever been another Premier League season that's finished whereby only 2 of the games are pointless and 8 of them mean something on the last day of the season?
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
That's fucking unreal, isn't it?
If you look at the stack up as well of the points, there's an evening out of the Premier League. You can see the money that each club generates from the TV is beginning to equalise the league out, especially in mid-table.
It's leveling the playing ground. Playing field a little bit.
If you look at the fact that there's 6 points between Wolves in 8th and Palace in 13th.
Yeah, there's not much in it, is there?
I mean, that's nothing, isn't it? I mean, Palace could jump 5 or 6 spaces if they win and the rest above them don't.
I know. Well, let's close this one down. Right, Phil, Chelsea, Watford.
Chelsea 3-0.
Easy, innit? Is there any way that if they lose and Tottenham win, that Tottenham could go third? There's not, is there? On goal difference.
I don't think so.
Goal difference,
yeah. Spurs would need to win 20-0.
Yeah.
You've backed them to lose. That's never going to happen. Nick's obsessed with Tottenham. He just don't want them to get.
It's an irrational hatred. Right, Gary.
All his in-laws will be cheering them on.
The Outlaws, you mean? Right, Gary. Leicester versus Southampton.
You know I don't apply logic or reason, so I'll go 2-0. 2-0 Leicester.
Right, let's see what happens. Right, so Leeds get relegated, and we pick up Calvin Phillips for about 5 million.
Yeah.
And Rafinha.
Yeah, no problem at all.
And Dennis from Watford, I'd have him as well.
I think another good thing is Everton get to keep Frank Lampard for another season. I think that's superb. That's good.
I think that's actually a result, because he's not a very good manager. He's not a very good manager. It will come back to bite him in the arse again.
You know they're prepared for points deduction next season.
Yes, because Leeds and Burnley have wrote a letter, haven't they, saying that they've broken financial fair play. With
the amount that they've lost. They tried to write it off for COVID, but they factored in that the points deduction will come next season, and they think that they'll be able to do enough to stay up. I don't know whether that will.
Well, I don't know, because we know from bitter experience that when a club loses its place in the Premier League and a court case happens, and there is some substance to the court case, even though there wasn't with us, it's likely to turn out the way of the hurt party, right? And I think in this case, they've blatantly broken the financial fair play rules. They've spent. You're allowed to spend. Well, you're allowed to go into debt something like 150 million over 3 years or something. Everton went into 358 million. I think those figures are right, over 3 years. They're saying that extra allowances for COVID losses and stuff like that. But it's that's the heart of the problem. Look, basically, if you compared them with another club of a similar size who made COVID losses, they've still been nowhere near the 358 million. So they have played the system. And if they are somehow in the right, then where's Nick gone?
He's in the background.
It's me. I was having a smoke. Sorry.
I think they're potentially in trouble. Whoever gets relegated, Leeds or Burnley, I think they're potentially in trouble.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, it's interesting.
What are the parachute payments now when you drop down from the Premier League? How long do you get support?
Substantial. The reason that Fulham and Norwich keep bouncing up and down is because the difference between what they can spend and what the others. Reason Bournemouth are coming back up is parachutes.
Right. Okay.
There's 2 seasons worth of parachute payments, but if you come up after 1 season, you don't get the second season's worth of payments.
Yeah,
and those parachute payments
get
shared back amongst the existing Premiership teams. So we've got a little windfall. Yeah, we do. Yeah,
about 3 million quid each.
Yeah, something like that. It's interesting. I think Nigel sort of alluded to it earlier on. There's another guy. When I'm not watching the Claret and Booze, YouTube channel, there's Another guy I like to watch who's called James Lawrence Alcott. Some of you might know him. He goes into lots of depth and stats about Premiership teams, and he's a QPR fan, but he's got quite a soft spot for us. Well, it seems to anyway. And he's done a really good video today, which he put out a couple of hours ago, and it compares where you should be in the league compared to, like, number of points compared with how much money you've spent, and he factors in things like costs of players as well as costs of wages. And he's saying basically it should follow the Premiership, like the table should follow the Premiership table. So, whoever Man City should be at the top, then it should be Liverpool, and then Chelsea.
Does it
Man
follow?
United. And it's not at all. No, Man United are bang up there. We're sort of, it gives us a little bit of praise because we're depending on how you look at it, we're either towards the bottom end overall. We're about 5th or 6th from the bottom.
Yeah.
For wages, we're about middle of the road, maybe edging into the top. For player, like cost of players, we're a little bit higher as well. But overall, we're sort of towards the bottom. So our bang for our buck, in other words, we're punching above our weights in terms of the amount that we spent on wages and signings. I'll put most of that down to Dawson, if I'm honest, I think, because he was dirt cheap, wasn't he?
Yeah. He was, absolutely.
But not that I like to big up other websites, but if you do get an extra 20 minutes after this one, look him up, James Lawrence Alcott. It's an interesting listen.
Yeah, it sounds really interesting. I'd like to see that, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I mean, talking about signings of the season, obviously you've got Dawson there. We one of the other players that we're linked with now that's worth about 30 million. That Dennis that Watford signed for 2 million. What would you put down at the moment? Looking at the entire Premier League, what is a signing of the season? And what do you reckon is a flop? And what do you reckon is a flop of the season?
We only signed a couple of players.
No. In general, in the Premier League.
Oh,
The whole Premier League.
Yeah.
Tough one.
I think Christian Eriksen's been good. So
Yeah,
to
yeah.
nab him on a free, that was only January, wasn't it? That was only January. I think Dawson's been a great signing, but he's one of them players that outside of West Ham, probably not a lot of other fans will.
Is he a signing of the season, though? I know he was only
For
on
us,
loan.
for West Ham.
I still don't see him as a new signing because we did have him last
No,
year.
I know.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
I know what you're going to say. Yeah, true. Good point.
Yeah.
I'd say for Man United, you've got to say Ronaldo. He's banged them in, and cost them next to nothing other than wages. And the kid who we were supposed to be interested in, but who went to Liverpool, he's coming in January and gone flying as well. Isn't it?
Do you think about Ronaldo? Do you think that as good as Ronaldo has been and as reliant as Man United have become on Ronaldo, do you think that he could have been part of the problem? Because do you think Solskjaer wanted Ronaldo?
No,
they only got him because he was going to City. It was it was only to stop him going to City, but
because Man United have just become Ronaldo FC, haven't they?
All right, take Ronaldo out. Yeah. How bad would they have been?
Yeah, I was just going to say that. No,
they have been awful, haven't they?
No, it's easy with all the ex-Man U people and all the people in the press and on the radio shows go, oh, the problem's Ronaldo, and all this, and they forget it was Fergie that picked the phone up and told him, you ain't joining City, you're coming back to us.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, that is what happened.
But do you think there's an argument for the fact that I think Ronaldo's been brilliant, he scored all the goals, but some people say by him being there and starting so regular at his age of 37 or whatever he is, some of the younger players ain't getting a chance. That's what people are saying. Not me, but I'm saying that's some of the arguments, isn't it? So like someone like Rashford and all that are not getting ahead of him.
I think a disruptive influence under Solskjaer, I reckon. It's just a personal opinion, I think. But going back to who you think was the best signing of the season across the whole league, Phil mentioned it before I was going to mention it, and that is, I'd say Diaz, because he does look like top quality.
Was that one of the players that we almost signed?
Yes.
Moyes had a phone conversation with him. That's how close we were.
Almost signed him. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Apparently, Moyes
Didn't understand the word he
nice
said.
village he could live in out by Merseyside.
I'll tell you who else has been good. And Nick's going to hate me for this. The guy Tottenham bought, is it Kulisevich or something?
Yeah.
He has.
Yeah, he's been steady.
I'll be totally honest with you. I never heard of the geezer before he came to the Premier League. That's the truth. I've never.
Good scouting. Sign of good scouting, John, isn't it?
Huh?
It's amazing.
It's good scouting, isn't it?
I'll tell you what,
he was an out-and-out Consi signing.
But it is amazing what a good January transfer window can do. Like
Would you have to go and mention that for
Conte managed.
We nearly got away with it.
Ain't much scouting, is it?
I'll tell you what. Here's another question for you. We've had who we think was the best signing of the season. Who do we think was the worst in the whole Premier League?
Well, there's one up. There's one up here. Look, there's one up here. Someone Richard says Vlasic.
He was bad.
Is he worse than Lukaku, isn't it?
Oh, worse than Krau.
Lukaku. Money involved. Yeah.
Krau. Yeah.
We've got two of them, Vlasic and Krau.
Mandy got it right. Mandy got it right.
Yeah, but nobody has heard of Krau before we got him. Exactly. It's like he didn't come with Lukaku's reputation, did he?
No.
Exactly. 100%. I was just going to say
that. The worst signing, he'd probably go in as the biggest disappointment. Well, I suppose if you look at the supposed world-class players, you would go, that's the biggest disappointment for the money they've paid, for his track record.
Leave that up, Gal.
To play the way he has played. And we're all sitting here, debating Ronaldo. Ronaldo's 37. What's Lukaku? 28, 29? Yeah. And this 37-year-old bloke who, and at the end of the day, when you're 37, you ain't going to run around as much as you did. No. And you shouldn't be expected to run around as much as you did. But when it can weigh in with the goals that he has done.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
And I suppose Lukaku, I don't know, he's looks a shadow. This is not the Lukaku that terrorised West Ham United.
No.
Or the one that was playing in where was it? Italy.
Inter.
Inter.
Yeah, with Ericsson, wasn't it? Yeah. So it was him and Ericsson with the two stars of that side.
Do you not think
he was the manager?
He can't be the same player because we prevented him from scoring, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
He didn't score against us, did he?
But do you not think the Italian league though? We know what the difference is. It is obviously a good standard of football, but it is a slower pace. It's a technical game, and I just think the Premier League is just fucking frantic, isn't it? Yeah. You don't get a minute. It's like because the Championship is a horrific division to be in because it's like the Premier League but without the talent. If you like,
I genuinely think that the Championship is one of the top divisions.
No, it's unbelievable. It's so difficult. I reckon some of these teams. I wonder how many top teams in Europe could get out the Championship.
Well,
I'm not talking about PSG and teams like that. I'm talking about
the Championship is actually the 5th biggest league in Europe.
Yeah.
In what aspect? Biggest in what aspect?
Crowd attendances, finances, and
there's some huge teams down there. Massive teams.
Yeah. I had some Sunderland fans in my cab today because they're down here. They're in the League One playoff final tomorrow against Wickham, aren't they? And if you've got two polar opposite teams there, I know it's League One, but they are complete ends of the spectrum.
I'd like to see them come back.
I like Sunderland. I like Sunderland a lot.
It's a good question here. Look, if Leeds went down, would we take Bamford from Leeds? For me,
I would.
No way.
I saw him for England against Andorra at the beginning of the season.
I was there, Grant, with you.
Were you, mate? There you go. I thought he was really good.
He was really good against the pub team.
I think he's one of those players where I think...
So was Trent, and so was Reece James. So
he's not Harry Kane, but he is a good centre forward.
I'll tell you what, if you were to say, do you want a striker? Here's Bamford, and you say, it's just a striker. We'll take him in because he's a striker. I think that would be the only justification to take him in. I think we're shopping in a different place now. We've got money. We should go out and buy the players we want that suit our style.
Harry, we've had a winger up front for 18 months.
Yeah, and I think our next striker will be Bowen as well. I think our next striker.
I know he is a good winger. No, John, I like Antonio, but you know what I'm saying. We haven't had an actual striker for 18 months.
I know
Okay,
that.
let's put it this way then. We get Bamford in, all right? Moyes is that football manager-esque manager in that he will buy someone to improve the squad, not to fill a hole, not to get a face in, but to improve the squad. He wants better than he's already got to take it a level up.
Phil Vlasic.
All right. I think Vlasic was hoisted upon him rather than he took.
He's a panic buy.
To be fair,
we can't say we can't credit him and say Bowen and Souček, they're Moyes', and when everyone goes wrong, that must be a Sullivan signing.
Okay, before Vlasic came to the Premiership, he was well thought of. All right, the Premiership, as you rightly pointed out, Nick, is frenetic, and I think he's taken a long while to adapt. I genuinely think we keep him for another season, he'll get more game time next season. I do. But all right, getting back to Bamford, who are we going to swap out? For me, he's more of a sort of a number 10 striker than a number 9. And then you're looking at swapping out either Lanzini or Fornals or Ben Rama. Maybe Ben Rama I would, because he's constantly flattering to deceive. But the others, I wouldn't swap him out for Bamford at all. I'd have him. I'd have him in the squad. I'd put him on the bench, but he wouldn't be a starter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He's not going to improve us. He's not going to improve us.
I'm not saying he's a marquee signing, but you know what he is? He is a hard-working striker, though. He kind of...
He's a fold-up tent signing. He's
a gazebo. A gazebo.
You fly for the weekend at Glastonbury and leave there because you don't want it back.
Exactly. Yeah, I'll tell you what, in a roundabout way, that's a perfect way to describe him. Yeah, he is a striker. That's kind of what I was saying. He is a striker. He's fit for purpose as a striker.
Okay.
He ain't somebody you'd aspire to,
I'm
is
not
he?
saying that he was someone... If you said go out and buy a striker, I wouldn't go out and buy a Bamford. But if you were... No. I would take him at the moment compared to what we've got. Of course you would.
Right. So, no, but listen. Right, listen. So we've just talked about how take Man United without Ronaldo. Well, this season we've seen Leeds without Bamford. Because last season he scored goals. They played really well. They weren't in danger of relegation. He's hardly kicked the ball this season and they're going down. Yeah. Or if they survive, they're staying up on about 36.
Because the way that Leeds play, he's a foil for all of the attacking players, the overlapping players. That's basically all he does. He does that kind of hold up play for them, you know. And he's. I don't think he's a bad player. I don't think he's the best player in the world. I don't think he should have ever got an England cap. I've got to be honest. I don't think he's that good, but I do think he's. And Nigel don't like him because he went to Eton. That's all that. That's all.
Yeah, I was just going to say when he does it, he pronounces all these words correctly. I can't handle that.
I think if we got someone like that, I think he's like he'd be like somebody like Pookie. If you're bringing them in, it's not to replace Antonio; it's to give you options. You need to bring someone else in as well.
Yeah.
And then it's about saying, right, we're playing Thursday, Sunday. What's the best game for Antonio to start against? Excellent. That's who he's playing against. Right. He can now be on the bench and we'll start somebody else for the other game that he's not best suited for. And that keeps him fresh.
Yeah. No,
and then he doesn't have to play twice a week. That's kind of what I'm looking at.
I totally agree with you, but the whole thing comes down to what players can he attract that are happy in some ways to be, because most players, when they go somewhere, they go, I want assurances that I'm going to be the number one, or I'm going to be.
Yeah.
Is he going to blatantly lie in their face, or is he going to say it's all on performance? If you play well enough, you'll start. I mean, how does that?
I think Bamford would be happy just to stay in the Premiership, though, John. He'd be happy to take a contract.
You've got to take into consideration Antonio's age. He's not scoring the goals that he has.
Yeah.
And that he's on the downwards scale. He's 32.
He ain't going to get any better, is he?
No, and this is the thing. And in a way, he's been superseded this season, strangely, perhaps on the quiet, by Bowen. I mean, Bowen's...
Nigel, do you reckon there's any way that Bowen could become the striker?
Yeah, I think we're seeing it happen, actually. If you look at Antonio, Antonio does a lot of strength work that Bowen can't do. But I think by having Antonio up there enables for Bowen to come in through the space.
Yeah, because his stats this year, I know you don't do assists, Nigel, but when you do,
made up stat, modern.
But when you look at his goal, when you look at his goal involvements, he's up there, isn't he? He's up there in the Premier League. And It's massive. You know, when you he really has come on leaps and bounds. I'm going to pitch you something now, okay, about David Moyes and about the small squad. So I've just thought about this. I'm going to see if I can articulate it.
Last question: have you really just thought about this, or have you been stewing on it all week?
No, I've just thought about it because I haven't got an agenda today, so I'm just trying to make things up. So in the chat, if you've got anything you want us to talk about, help us out.
Just scroll through our WhatsApp. Yeah. There's fucking loads of shit in there.
No, don't.
Nick, before you start, Paul Riley mentioned, what about Rafinha? Can we come back to that one after you've
100%? Yeah, we'll come back to that. So what I'm going to say is, right, talking about our squad this season, you know, the squad depth has been a problem. It is a small squad. We know that David Moyes likes to work with a small squad. Do we think? I think we all accept that if we want to sort of do well in every competition, if you want to do well in the league and you want to do well in the cups and you want to do well in Europe, you need a deeper squad, you need better players, you need depth. But with how Moyes showed how he was with, say the likes of Haller, he doesn't like big players sitting on the bench. Do you think that Moyes is a type of manager that can handle egos that are not playing? Do you think that he could cope with that? Do you think he would want that? Do you think that he will ever have? Do you think he could? He's that type of manager that could work with a big squad.
Who's first?
I'll go to Phil. Go on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, go on.
Yes, because I don't think he allows people to have a chip on their shoulder in the dressing room. It's been helped by the likes of Noble being in there, so we will have a different dressing room next season. We'll have to see how that pans out. But nobody in the dressing room is Billy Big Bollocks. You know, Rice could be right up there with a big head. He is not. He's proper grounded. Don't forget Souček, Kufal. They have played in Champions League. You know, for Red Star and stuff. Yeah. They where they've come from. They've been big players. Everyone pulls their weight in the team. They know they're a team. There's a whole ethos of being a team. So I think that's probably one of the reasons why Haller had to go. By all accounts, Haller was quite liked by the squad. I think the moody expression whenever he scored a goal was just his thing. But apparently he was quite liked by the squad anyway. It's just he didn't fit into our system.
No, that's right.
I think he can. I don't think he'd sign. I think he said in the past, Moyes has said in the past that one of his priorities when he's looking, he does a background on what the personality of the player is like. And if it's not going to be a good fit, then we look elsewhere. So I think we'll be all right wherever we get.
But Phil, you mentioned Souček. Souček's a good example, right? We all accept that Souček has had long periods this season where he's been bang out of form, yet he never gets drops ever. I think when you've got that 11 players that you can just continually persist with, he's never really shown any ruthlessness with any position other than right back and left wing. He's never done.
Who would you drop Souček for?
Well, I think we looked better.
Would you have put Noble in and started?
I would have put Noble in. Look, we haven't even seen Crowell. I mean, Nigel, what are your? I know you're. Look, he's on Facebook. Look.
No, I'm not. I'm just looking at something. Arming myself.
But what I'm saying is, Nigel, what do you think on that? Do you think that there is something in that? The fact that Moyes, because it was the same at Everton. Do you think he does like to have these small, compact squads? He likes to have his little kind of tight-knit team, and he doesn't like to go any further than that.
I mean, he's probably picked 24, 25 players this season to play for West Ham. We could look at the Zagreb game at home and go, well, there's 6 of them now that probably only appeared once or twice. I mean, you know me, I don't buy into this. You can't play 2 games a week. How many games have we played this season?
Loads. 56 on Sunday.
56. So who's played the most games? Who's played in?
Declan Rice.
How many has he played in?
I reckon he's probably. This is a guess.
Yeah,
I reckon he's probably played in 46.
More than that.
So how many is acceptable in a season? How many games is it acceptable to play in a season for a player? Is it too many games if he's played in 46? If it's too many games he's played in 50?
Right.
How many?
So sports science now, that is purely down to the individual. That's not. You can't say.
It's down to a person. Everyone's got different sort of. It's genetics. It comes down to genetics as well. And
that's why they track everything now.
People, well, all right, I won't say people. People like Nick that will say that we overplay the players, playing 2 games a week. They've got to have a rest and everything. Yet when you go through and look at the list of players and who's played what games, Rice has played 47, Souček's played 46, Antonio Bowen played 44.
So not Nigel. You've seen Antonio. Look, let's use Antonio as a perfect. Let's use Antonio as a perfect example.
Yeah,
Do you think that Antonio can play the way he played against Lyon and Man City every game, every 3 days?
Well,
no, the stats show he can't.
I mean,
I'm saying, do you think he can play?
What I mean
is, do you think he can play to that same intensity and level with just a few days rest every few games?
We've done all right this season, haven't we, Nick? With him doing it.
I don't think he can't. No, but he can't. Though, can he?
No, but I would argue in the summer we need someone and another Antonio-like player. To come in, and take that role. But what I'm saying is that when you say, "Oh, we got to get loads of players in to be able to equate on all these different fronts," yet we've done the semi-final of the European Cup, the quarter-final of the League Cup, the 5th round of the FA Cup, and the possibility of finishing 6th for the 2nd season in a row when the club's never ever done that in its history.
No.
And he's done it with
no, Nigel. I'm not criticising
because he's got a small squad. He's achieved all that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not criticising him. I'm just saying if we were to attempt to take the next step, I think we all agree. Look, you can't win the lot with just 11 players. I think you've got to have a deeper squad. So what I'm saying is,
we ain't going to win the lot.
No. But you know what I mean. Compete.
We just win one.
But do you think that David Moyes? Let me just say this: do you think that David Moyes could manage Man City squad?
No.
But that's not a negative.
But what I mean, what I'm saying is that amount of players that you've got to rotate and you've got to keep on changing things to keep people happy.
No, but I've always preferred this, and this is perhaps where I'm different. You know, I can go back to 80, 81. Yeah, I think we used 16 players.
16, yeah, it was.
Have a smoke.
You know, and that is a magic number.
And we played 61 games that season.
Yeah. That is a magic number, right? Because 16 players, that gives you 16 players who are capable of playing in the first team properly, right? Yeah. So not backup players, these are 16 first team players. I think that's what we need to try and achieve in the summer. 16 first team players.
Okay.
Can be rotated around.
Let Grant speak.
Let me just finish saying this. The only negative I've got on Moyes in January is when he turned around and went, I wanted to bring players in to strengthen the first team. And I'd like to thank Karen Brady. He should have looked at his bench and thought, I could bring players to strengthen the bench. There's nothing wrong with him in the bench. And that's the only...
I totally agree.
Go on, Grant.
Go on, Grant. Sorry, mate.
Right. I get where you're coming from on 80, 81, the 86s and all that stuff, right? Not taking anything away from that. You were there. I completely see where you're coming from. Right. Except you take the top 5 Formula One racers now, and you take the top 5 Formula One racers from 1986 and do the same from 81, and you go, right, you put all them together and you say you have a race, you know that the modern ones are going to win.
Of course they are, because they've got higher fitness levels.
Everything and that's exactly the same in football. Everything's moved on. They were all semi-alcoholics back then. That was their rest and recovery was to go to the pub, wasn't it? They trained in the morning. They had a fry up in the morning, then they trained, and then they were on the booze all afternoon. I get it.
They played 61 games. They ate, they drank, they smoked.
And the pitches were terrible, but they all did it.
And now they're playing on carpets. They're eating the right diet, and we're going. You shouldn't play more than 30 games.
I've got to say there. But I've got to say Grant's actually, that's a great counter argument, right? Because I've often agreed with what you've said, right? I don't disagree with you now. I'm not saying I disagree now. What Grant's saying is they all did that then. Every player they played with and against, and now all the players they played with and against are now eating pasta. Can't do this, can't do that. So it is a different era, and I'm not sure that we can.
But have our players played more games than the likes of Liverpool's, Man City's, Chelsea's? Have our players played more games than their players?
You're saying unfit players.
They can rotate, can't they?
John, you're saying unfit players on a bad diet who used to drink and smoke a lot could play 61 games in a season and be fine, right? And also
but so did the Liverpool players.
Hang on a minute. And also take painkilling injections when they've got a little niggle or something like that and try and get themselves through.
Gary,
these days, the slightest little injury and they're out for 3 or 4 games.
What I'm saying is, Gary, it comes down to genetics. You've got some players in Rice, in Bowen that are naturally fit that could play. They could play every day. I'm sure Bowen could play every day. But then, like I said to you, you've got Antonio. I just think physically, Antonio can't do it.
I think you're overcooking it, Nick, because
I'm overcooking it. Of course I am. So Antonio's a lazy fucker.
Nigel said earlier that Declan Rice had played 47 games. I guess 46. I was nearly right. 47 games, right? In the old league season, there was 42 games. It's 5 more games, right? It is not a long season. Don't dress it up because it's not a long season.
Gary, wait a minute. Do you not accept that people are different? Bodies are different.
People are different, but also the conditions are different. Like Nigel said, plays on a carpet. You ain't allowed to foul each other anymore. It's virtually a non-contact sport.
Gary, explain to me. One minute. Gary, explain to me the difference between Declan Rice and Antonio.
Declan Rice and Antonio. Well, Antonio is built like a sort of 9 years straight away.
But why is it that Antonio can't play to the same level every game, but Declan Rice can?
Well, because he's built like a sprinter. It's different. It's different genetics, right? Declan Rice is built like a marathon runner.
So people are different. Players are different. It doesn't work
because they're playing different positions. Of course, they need different physical attributes.
Yeah.
All right, Nick. Look, if we was playing in the Championship, how many games would we be playing? If we was playing in the Championship, how many games 46. Would we be playing in the league?
46.
And how many of the current squad would we still have?
No, what I'm saying is why do we look at the Championship players and say, well, they're going to play 50-odd games a season, and yet because they're Premier League players who are pampered and everything else, and we think we've got to wrap them up with cotton wool, and I think actually Moyes has proved you ain't. Go out there, play football, because guess what? When they're playing football, they're not training as hard.
The difference is, though, and I think this is kind of like, so back in the 80s, what you're talking about, the great sides, the great Forest side, the great Liverpool sides, the great Everton sides, they all played we all had about the same because they're limited on substitutes and all that, and everyone had about the same side, and so everyone played about the same amount. Now, in the modern game, you can see the filthy rich clubs have been able to exploit. So Liverpool and that, they all had the best players. But now the big clubs all have more money and have bigger squads. So they're all rotating their players and they effectively have 2 starting 11s. And that's how they rotate round. You look at Liverpool, look at that team. That was a Carabao Cup team they put out against Southampton. And they went and got a result. But and that's the difference. I think that's what me and Nick are trying to get at is the difference in size of squads. We're never going to compete with the super rich because we haven't got the super rich owners.
Yeah. But that was my question. The original question wasn't is Moyes right by having a small squad? It's can Moyes manage a big squad of good players? Do you think Gary? No, what I'm saying is Gary could. Oh, he won't need. So we're not going to have a big squad then.
No, we're going to have about 16 to 17 players, first team players that he can rotate around. That's all we'll need. We won't need. That's 2
what we've got now, Gary. That's what we've got now. We've got 16 players now.
No, we haven't. We haven't got 16 first team players who you would be.
Wilson, Diop, Ogbonna, Zuma.
No. No, you're wrong. You're wrong. So Ogbonna's been injured all season, but honestly, and
he's
tell me I'm not
player, isn't he? He's a first team player.
Tell me I'm not wrong here.
Ariola's a first team player.
Let me finish. Tell me I'm not wrong. When Diop comes into the team, you're thinking that's a backup, right? He could make he's a decent player. But it's a weaker player coming in.
You're saying we just need 5 backup players to our first team. 5
not backup players, 5 first team players. That's what I'm saying. 5 players who You don't notice, you don't care whether they're playing or the other players playing. You've got 16 players, 17 players who can play in the first team and be first choice in their own right. And
Yeah,
I
we
would
do not have
extend that number.
today.
I would extend that number.
I think you do need that. You need a bigger number.
How many
than
do we
that.
need?
I'm
How many
with
do we
Nick.
22.
Gary,
You need
For the
22.
first team.
Centre
We
back.
can't have 22
Centre-back
first
isn't
team
it?
players. It's West Ham.
Centre back is an attritional position, right?
Yeah.
It's bookings, it's sending offs, it's injuries. And we have suffered from that this season. We have been lucky that Dawson has been the bollocks, in my opinion.
100%.
We've been really lucky that when Diop came in, because when he just came in and played a game for cover, he had a few rickets in him, right? We all knew that.
Yeah.
But when he came in and we had no other choice than to play him, he actually steps up, right? We need 5 proper centre-backs. Centre of the park, we've relied on Souček and Rice pretty much exclusively. We've lost Noble, right? We're going to need to replace Noble. We need another centre-mid, right?
Do we have him?
Kroll can go. He's not up to the pace of the game in this country. He's great internationally, but not into the pace of the Premiership. So we're going to need more there. I agree with both of you, and I think you'll find the middle ground when you talk about it later, that we don't need a 40-plus squad like the likes of Chelsea and Man City have, but we do need more than 17 players. I think we'll probably be better off around 18, maybe 20, because you've got to have options up front, not just cover, but you also need options and cover up front. You know, there's a point this season. How many games did we play with 2 keepers on the bench, for fuck's sake? I know they've extended the amount of subs, but that's somewhat embarrassing, you know.
Danny, sorry, mate. How long have you been sitting there?
Hey.
Hello, mate. You're right. Look. He's got his pink vest on. Look.
Danny, I thought you were in Newark. I thought you'd gone there to stay.
Despite New Jersey's best efforts to keep us, we are back in very sunny and very, very hot.
Danny, have you just finished your Friday night Mexican wrestling training?
I'm not wearing the luchador mask, right? No, it is hot as hell here. Like, it is very, very hot.
I'll tell you what, I was on my way back.
Come out of the closet.
34 here right now.
Danny, I was on my way back to I was waiting for the Central line last night, and I read your thread from that plane.
I meant every word of that.
Great.
I meant every word of that.
Basically, don't fly United Airlines. That's all I took out of it.
United Airlines gets so.
Hey, do you know something, Danny? That thread was one of the funniest things I've read for a long time.
Yeah.
Honestly, was it? There was a newlywed couple or something. Was it an engaged couple and they've been divorced already or something? You was
with
saying
three
that.
kids.
Yes.
With 3 kids.
So the Dalai Lama was on the plane, and even the delay broke his fucking confidence, and he was like, "Fuck this, I'm out."
Right, I'm going to throw you in at the deep end, Danny. We've got a question here from Amanda. I'm sure. Have you been listening to the conversation?
I have. Yeah, I was listening on my way home.
Right. So Amanda says, "Do we think a smaller squad works for us? They're tight knit. They play for each other, and it seems to work. I'm not saying that we don't need to strengthen it, but what do you reckon? Do you think that we need to strengthen and basically add more players to our squad so that we can not fade?
We've accomplished this with a smaller
Fade and die. It's in our song,
a massive squad of players. Moyes likes to run with a really tight rotation, and look where it's gotten us. Like, that's great. We want to celebrate that. We got into the semifinal of the fucking Europa League. That's a big deal. But look at how much more we could achieve with we don't need to add that many more. We don't need to add bodies. We need to add quality. So really just 4 or 5 good signings. And I don't remember if it was Gary or Phil that had brought it up, that you have first team players where you don't notice whether one's in or not, to where the quality of your football doesn't drop depending on what personnel you have in there.
That's
so
exactly
it was Gary
right.
that admitted
but the question is the way that we've seen Moyes operate this year. Say you've got 16 first team footballers.
Yeah.
To keep 16 first team footballers happy, you have to be giving them game time if they're all first team footballers. Do you think that Moyes would rotate, or do you think he would? No, he doesn't rotate, Gary. He doesn't rotate.
He did earlier in the season.
He rotates right back and left wing. That's all he rotates.
No, earlier in the season in the Europa League, he rotated quite a lot.
He kind of runs them into the ground a little bit.
Danny, Nigel, does David Moyes rotate his preferred first team apart from right back and left wing?
He will bring in Ben Rama for Lanzini. I understand what
he doesn't rotate.
He does. I understand what Gary's saying is actually right. What we want is 16 players that can play first team football. And at the end of the day, I don't think Ben Rama's a first team starter. So what we're doing is 16 top quality players, and then you have your Ben Ramas, then you have your Dawsons, then you have them players that fill up the rest of the bench.
Then you have your Dawsons.
There's only one Dawson.
He's 32. And he will be on the
32.
Side.
They interviewed Declan Rice earlier on in the season and said, "Oh, you're playing so many games, all the rest of it. Oh, is it not getting on top of you?" And he's like, "We're chomping at the bit to go out. We want to go out and play twice
Footballers,
a week."
believe it or not, Nick, want to play football.
They don't want to train.
They'd rather play games than train.
Yeah. So he's
okay. So what's happened with Souček then? Is Souček been fatigued this season, or has he just dropped form?
In a tough summer.
I was going to say,
Is he tired? Is he tired, Gary? Is that what it is?
He was tired all season. Yeah.
Nick, in all seriousness, who has not benefited by playing the amount of games that we played? Who's lost form? Who's dropped form? Who's got injured? Who would you say?
Who's playing the amount of games?
Yeah. Just throw, shits and giggles.
Zuma.
Who would you say?
Just run down the injury list. Yeah.
Yeah. Ogbonna, Zuma. No. Look, listen. Look. Listen. If you go back to the start of the season, right? You go back in those months up to because I'll tell you what, it's that start to the season, especially when you're in Europe, when you've got a small squad. If you don't start that season well, like next season, right? If we're in Europe next year, if we don't start on fire, we're not going to finish the season stronger than what we started because we're going to start getting tired. We're going to start getting injuries. And that is what happens. And we have done that this season. The second half of the season, although we've been brilliant in Europe, the league form has not been as good as what it was at the start of the season. So we were in a sense, we were lucky. We had such a great few months at the start because that has carried us through.
Nick, it's a great monologue. It's a great monologue. Can I just read this comment?
It's a great monologue.
Can I read this comment from Pete Amsterdam?
That's a great monologue.
Lucky Dawson came in. Lucky Diop played well. It's not luck. We finished top 7 thanks to Moyes' brilliance, Nick. Moyes' brilliance. Nothing to do with luck.
Brilliant. I'm not saying I've never said this is what you don't understand. You don't
understand. I agree with what Nick says now. I'm going to agree with this.
Gary is literally, he has to buy into something 100% and everything's great and everything's amazing. You can't criticize nothing. You can't criticize nothing. And the fact is that you can't. The fact is, you can say Moyes has been amazing, but it could have been better. You can say that it could have been better.
Did you steal something from him? And
I'm sorry, Nigel. Right? Did you watch Frankfurt versus Rangers in the final? Frankfurt is shit.
Yeah, we know.
I'm sorry.
They're not. No, they're not. No, that system they play is so complex.
Frankfurt was shit. The entire competition. They're not shit. They're only the third club in history to do what they just did. Like fair play to them. Like, we went down to the best, in my opinion, and they were the eventual champions. We went out to the. I look like Hulk. I need a bandana. I need the bandana. Listen here, brother.
Yeah.
It's hot, man. It's really hot here.
Right, I'll
tell you what. Go on.
We don't concede that goal in the first minute of the first tie, and we don't lose Cresswell in the second game. We win comfortably, either 2-0 or 3-1. And then Rangers would not have been a problem. We would have won that final.
Yeah. Talking about Rangers, Phil. What do you think of their left back? Is it Bassey?
Bassey.
He was. He had a good game. But by all accounts, he's been quite solid all season as well. Certainly amongst my circle of friends, we've been talking about it'd be a decent little acquisition, especially with Cresswell not getting any younger. Yeah, he was decent.
Yeah, no, he's a good player. I do like him. He's won the Young Player of the Season. I think we should try and sign him. We should.
Yeah,
Right,
can I-
anyway, moving on.
There's like a Nick Fred
say
going
something
on.
about Glasgow Rangers?
Go on.
Their right back, Tavernier, has scored about 76 goals this season. That's all I'm going to say. It's the Scottish.
Yeah, he's good.
Their captain.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you know what I like from Frankfurt? Do you know what I like from Frankfurt? He's of that keeper. What a keeper he is.
Yeah, but they said he's
Kevin-
better than
Failed at PSG.
What a player, honestly.
He was the keeper
Failed
in
at
the Europa team of the league or team of the season.
Yeah, Europa League Team of the Year.
Oh, did you say he was at PSG?
He was
Yes.
he flopped at PSG and came back. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
They
that.
got rid of him. But I mean, it's PSG, so they bounced him quick. But
Yeah.
Right, John, I've proper blagged me way through this first hour, so now it's your turn, mate. Do you want to
I thought Gary's
Do you wanna-
is Gary not doing his awards?
No, let's break it
Oh
up.
yeah, go on, yeah. What do you want to do?
We do the awards first, or we do?
Yeah, do the
Not the
awards.
week.
Go on, Tom.
Yeah, go on.
All right.
Go
Then.
on, now.
Go on,
all right.
Before you two come to blows.
It's been a while since we disagreed like this. It's been quite fun.
With
I'm
your
always
white
in
and
the
black
middle.
shirts,
I'm always
you're
in the
very
middle,
much
look.
the yin yang right now.
We are.
So what we have, people, is we have some awards, some alternative awards, and these were voted on by our members of the Facebook group Claret and Booze, a Facebook group that started existence back in the summer of last year when we were all in lockdown, right? Before this YouTube channel come along, it sort of spawned this YouTube channel. What we did was we asked our very small exclusive group of Facebook members, because we've got a 1 in, 1 out policy. That's never getting bigger, that Facebook group, right? We asked our exclusive members who they would vote for in certain polls. And you can tell from this first question that was posted, immediately when Nick started posting polls, somebody posted another poll to say the best Claret and Booze poll of the year.
Sweat. That was
So
it.
James McFadden. And you know what came first? The winner was the best poll question of the year. So that's the kind of, you get a sense of where we're going with this, right? So look, that's award.
Oh, is that you then, Gal? Did you win that? Did you?
I won it. Yeah, I won it.
Yeah.
I won it. Yeah. So the runners up were, I won't go into them. It's too difficult to read. So look, we all know the donkeys are the favourite, one of the favourite features of this channel. Nigel doesn't like them, but we like the donkeys. And
Nigel loves the donkeys on some occasions.
He loved them against Kidderminster.
He did. He loved them. Get out of donkeys. He was going. Get them out.
But there were many competitors for Donkey of the Season, and I've completely lost who they are. But
Nick.
I've got the slides in the wrong
Thanks,
order.
Nige. Thanks, Nige.
But what
You
I'll do
started that off.
The
Twat.
winner is pretty obvious in the Donkey of the Year, Donkey of the Season. It is Alex Crow.
Oh,
With
runner
runners
up, Nick.
Alex Crow
I
came
never
first.
win. I'm always a fucking runner-up. Look at me. Look, I never win.
Nick came second
Quite
in
surprised,
Donkey
mate.
of the Season.
I can't even beat Alex Crow. I mean, how fucking bad's that?
I was gutted. You was winning at one point.
Nick, I think you played more minutes for West Ham than Alex Crowell did.
I think he did. So moving
This
on to the
ain't
third
bad.
award, tosser of the season. Now we've had many tossers over the season, and there were a couple to name but a few. Mike Dean.
Mike Dean, yeah.
Mike
Andy
Dean was a great
Taylor.
one. But also, you remember the bloke that ran on the pitch against Leon?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, he was a tosser of the year. And you also remember Dembele winking.
Mhm.
Yeah, the wink
Oh,
up, yeah.
bad tosser. Some people voted Aaron Cresswell. I won't go for that. And tosser of the season, some also voted Nick Killington.
Harsh.
Yeah, you. You
Harsh.
voted for Nick.
But the winner of the award 2022 is Mike
Mike Dean, good.
obviously. Next one. Guest of the season. Now, this is a big award, a
I'm gonna just leave.
prestigious
I'm gonna
award.
leave the room for a minute.
Prestigious award from the people who have featured on this illustrious channel. And there were lots of people in running for this. And I think David Shaw, Jay's dad, shut up. David
Superman.
Shaw, Jay's dad, did very well. Dave Hurst, who was for some reason snubbed this night. Father Jack, Desmond, and Stelios, one of our favourites, Stelios. But the winner is none other than Nigel Khan.
Nigel Khan, who voted for himself, by the way, just so that you know.
I'll tell you what,
Did he win by one vote?
Special mention to you, Nigel. You've been supporting us since we started this channel, so I'm feeling up here.
Brilliant.
But thank you for all your help this year, Nigel. It's been fantastic.
It's a pleasure, Saps. Thank you very much.
Shut him off now.
Thirsty should have won that. Fix.
Take his award and leave.
We're going on to Hero of the Season. Now, there are not really too many people who could have won this. And in the running were Thomas Souček.
Gary's only just recovered from not being nominated for this, by the way.
Nick, Thomas Souček was in the running for Hero of the Season. And the other one who ran him close was Mark Noble.
Really?
What?
But the winner, and surely the only valid winner of Hero of the Season has got to be none other than big Craig Dawson.
He is a fucking hero, that bloke. And I'll tell you what, I must admit, a lot of us, I mean, John has been on him from day one, but yeah, he's a new Ginge, isn't he? He really is. He's fantastic. I love him.
I love Dawson. I love him.
I think he's better than Collins.
Yeah.
Do you think he's better?
It took a lot of time. It did take a lot of time for a lot of people to come around to Dawson. I don't know why, but it just did, didn't it? Really,
it's because of what he came from before he was
at
West Ham.
And there was that whole thing that he was some sort of industrial sort of defender who, which I like anyway. I like industrial.
But John, do you not think that he's actually got better and he's improved though?
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think he's become a better player.
I can't remember. Someone said it to me on one of these shows, and it stuck with me. Who's to say he wasn't ever a good player? He just hadn't had good coaching.
It's probably me that said that. It's probably me.
Moyes was a CD, wasn't he? So
I think if you play for shit teams every year, though, if you play for shit teams every year and you're always struggling, you're going to look shit, aren't you?
Oh yeah, there is that.
He played for West Brom, then he played for Watford, didn't he? I mean, not saying anything.
Started at Rochdale.
He did start at Rochdale.
Had a loan spell at Bolton. I do know that. But what he had done in his career prior to coming to West Ham, that wasn't going to tip anybody off that we were getting that kind of player.
I'll tell you what he's done prior to joining West Ham. He got relegated. That's what he'd done prior to joining West Ham.
It was the relegation.
But Danny, did you not miss my ode to Craig Dawson a few weeks ago, where I went through where he'd come from? I mean, this guy was working in a pub collecting glasses when he was like 17, and then he went to play for some non-league outfit and found his way to Rochdale. This guy's come from the bottom, right?
Yeah. Mickey Antonio played non-league. At one point. I mean,
so did Craig.
Yeah. Did you say you played for Bolton? Did you say you played for Bolton? Someone?
Yeah, he was on loan at Bolton at one point.
Yeah.
I'll freely admit, when he signed, I was expecting another Roger the Relegator.
Yeah, I was.
He'd been in those teams that had just perennially struggled, and he has been an absolute shining fucking light. Big up him.
Absolutely. Listen, I love Christmas. I love Big Dawes. Absolutely.
Go on, Grant.
Well, he was pretty shocking. Remember him against Leeds in the Cup? Remember when he came on away to Wolves when we had to play after Ogbonna got injured? He's totally turned his season around. Yeah, he's come on leaps and bounds, and his passing.
He stepped up.
It's absolutely unbelievable. He clearly, you can see how much he's worked on his game. So,
and he has scored some fucking important goals as well.
He has been. Can I say one thing as well? Go back to that last slide, Gal. The last one. I will say this now. I do think for hero of the season, it's a bit of a travesty that fucking Andrei Yarmolenko's not in there. Really, because I think he's been brilliant since he came back in with what's happened. Because if Thomas fucking Souček can get nominated for hero of the season this year, I'm sure that
you keep it up, mate. He'll win it next year.
Nick, that's a good shout. Given
Nick, it's not Eurovision. No sympathy for the Ukrainians, please. Come on,
Nigel, he got us through to the semi-final, mate.
Listen, if it was hero of the month, it would be Yarmolenko.
Yeah.
Not hero of the season.
Yeah.
There's only one winner here, Craig Dawson. And there's no prize for runner-up, as you know, Nick, because you've been runner-up a couple of times already.
Can't even beat Krell. Can't even beat Krell.
So let's go into game of the season. Now, there were some memorable games this season. This has been a wonderful season. I've absolutely loved it, and there are too many to remember. But, you know, a couple that have been picked out. I mean, I remember
Actually, could have been better.
The ones that didn't make it were wins at home to Tottenham, Liverpool, Chelsea, right? These are runners up. They didn't even make the runners up. So we had Frankfurt away. How did that come over Chelsea? Kiddie away. We won it in like the last minute. How did that come over Chelsea? Villa away. Well, yeah, good result. But the best away game surely was Lyon away.
Lyon,
fantastic, right? But the game of the season voted by our esteemed Facebook members was obviously
Seville. Yes. Yeah.
The best atmosphere.
We have had some good ones this year, haven't we? I must admit, when you look at the season, you think about memories. There's been some. It has been a good season. It's been fucking amazing, really.
If you can leave a season, Nick, and everyone with 10 plus really, really good memories, that's a good season, isn't it?
Of course it is. Yeah,
we need to meme that quote, Nick. It has been a good season.
Hang on, Nigel, in quotes, but.
Actually, at the end, yeah.
I think for me, how do you measure a game of the season? Like we've recently, I think it was yesterday or today, on my Facebook memories popped up the game at Wembley when we clinched promotion again against Blackpool. Right, I can remember that second goal getting in. I got tickets at 11 o'clock that morning. Someone came through with some tickets for me. So from not going to the game to going to the game and then being there with that atmosphere and then scoring that second goal, like that absolute feeling of fucking hell, that was on the same level as the Seville, that goal in extra time for me. It was like
it absolutely was. And it's funny you mentioned that, Phil.
Out of body experience stuff, you know.
Phil, it's funny you mentioned that because one thing I remember from that Blackpool goal, that second goal, was it was so loud you couldn't actually hear cheering anymore. You could only feel it, right? It was loud. Yeah. And that was what was going on in Seville in that stadium that night. It was so loud. It was beautiful. It's a beautiful moment.
I heard it was like white noise, that it was just like canceling each other out, like all the shouting.
That's a great way to describe it, actually. That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
I get this thing, I don't know if it's me or if it's everyone, where you're screaming and shouting so much that you just get like that pitch in your ear, in one of your ears, where you're like your jaws fucking separating. I don't know, but it was just out of your brain, kind of.
But you know what? Our kind of amazing atmospheres are chaotic and they're not fucking organised. And I know we witnessed when we went to Frankfurt, and look, I didn't go. I don't think any of us did, but you heard from the people that went. You heard from the people that went out. Did you go out there, Phil?
I did. I didn't have a ticket for the game, but I went anyway.
But the people that actually went, that were in that stadium, right, and they said that there was no point even opening your mouth because it was so loud in there. You was being cancelled out. They were so well drilled. But you know what? Yeah. As good as that was, right? When you look at that and you look at the way they're like a fucking organised army, like a load of clones, all fucking waving their flags, all dancing in time, all going, whoa, all that shit, like the stuff. Now, would you want that? Would you switch? Obviously, not at the London Stadium, but say like the last day at Upton Park. Use that as an example.
No,
because Nigel's on steroids, isn't they?
But would you want us to turn into them fucking flag wavers?
No, because when we get it right, we get it so right.
Yeah, we do.
But listen. We all said, those of us that watched that Frankfurt second leg on television,
it was impressive.
We all said the atmosphere came through the TV. So as much as we might not like the idea of standing there waving flags and all that,
I'm not waving a fucking flag at a football match.
I know, but listen, there's no doubt about it. It works. It is a fantastic atmosphere, right? And we wasn't even in the game. I watched
it's intimidating.
The thing is, right? I've been to Germany and I've watched lower league German football. They're like that at lower league football.
Yeah.
The best game I had Spinter was Osnabrück Dynamo Dresden, 20,000 seater stadium, sold out on a Sunday morning or 1 o'clock kickoff. The atmosphere was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it was a middle of the season game. And they Osnabrück, they I'd never seen anything like it. I've got a video of it where they did all that choreography stuff behind the goal. But all the other stands joined in, not with the choreography, but with the singing and everything. Even I joined in, I got carried away. But at the end of the game, the ultras picked their man of the match. Yeah. So all the players walked up to behind the goal. The ultras picked out your man of the match. He had to climb up on the cage and sing a song. The man of the match.
Yeah, that's superb.
And you think, and this is a lower league football team. Osnabrück, I bet none of you have heard of them. In fact, they're in Bundesliga 3 now.
Did you see? Did you see the other day when
football for you?
Bayern Munich won the league the other day, and Thomas Muller got this giant
shield,
trophy. He climbed up the fence and he gave it. You know the guys that don't watch the game, they just get everyone up singing. He gave it to them. Even at Bayern Munich.
Amazing.
We can sneer at it and we can look down our nose at it.
It's beautiful.
I'll tell you what, when you're there, it is fantastic.
They like a bit of organisation, though, the Germans, though.
It's like at our place where you had the flag waving in the top tier, and then they shouted Frankfurt, and then they stopped, and the ones down the bottom started waving. Yeah. What is all that about? We're too pissed to.
That was annoying. That was annoying. Being next to them was annoying.
Because tonight,
it was annoying.
7,000 of us.
The one thing I would say, the one thing I would say for us lot is, in future, if all the crowd was, if everyone said, right, wear claret, wear a West Ham top or wear claret, everyone wears claret. Because they were all wearing white, and it is a bank of white, whether they're waving a flag, jumping up and down, whatever, singing shit. It looks impressive when you're facing that goal, attacking that goal.
It shows unity.
Ominous about it.
Quite often we're wearing claret anyway, Phil, because we are double naughty and we end up with claret down us anyway. So
but Nick,
Bordeaux, surely, Nick, in your glass there, isn't it, darling?
Nick, you said you went to the Frankfurt home game, didn't you?
Yeah.
You even said it yourself. We just had 60,000, or we had 55,000 fans.
So weird.
No, you said we was just standing up, no atmosphere. We just standing up, creating nothing. You said
there was people standing up for the whole game, standing there with their fucking hands in their pockets. It was bizarre. Yeah, honestly,
it was a bad atmosphere at night. But let's not go into it.
Why the Seville game was so special and the others weren't?
Yeah,
because it was knockout, wasn't it?
Because
it was win or bust.
Yeah. You know what had to be done.
Yeah, true. Very true.
First leg is always cagey. You don't know. Yeah, we got behind the team. I'm not saying we didn't get behind the team, but you're comparing that.
That is right.
Oranges there.
That is right. And you
Seville with a big name as well, wouldn't they?
Yeah. But the thing is, I thought that when I saw the draw, because they drew the quarterfinal and the semi-final, and once I saw we was away for the second legs. That is a big disadvantage, isn't it?
Yeah, we all
a massive disadvantage. I mean, I would never ever want to go away to that fucking place away again, Frankfurt. I mean, my God, because as much as I've been mocking them, that must have been intense. Do you know what I mean? Like to play in that atmosphere,
and that's by design. It's supposed to be like hell when you visit that place.
Yeah, it must have been a bit. It must have been intense. Yeah,
some good places to go on the booze, though, Nick. It was a nice atmosphere around the town. Yeah.
I used to go there. I used to go there every other week or every week. I can't remember what it was, but the reason I didn't go there because I'm very superstitious, and I watched England losing the semi-final of Euro '96 out there in a little bar. And it was a miserable night, and I didn't want to go through that again. I'd rather just wait for the final. But anyway, look, let's keep this upbeat. Let's not talk about misery. Let's go on to the goal of the season.
Masuaku.
There are a lot of competitors here, right? Arthur Masuaku.
I hope it is Arthur now.
I think Arthur Masuaku was the funniest goal of the season. That was fucking hilarious, that goal, wasn't it?
Yeah, wasn't it?
I wish he hadn't said that. I wish he hadn't spoken on it being an accidental.
Just say you meant it. Say you meant it.
Just say you meant to do it, and let us have that.
Yeah,
I'm still convinced he meant to do it.
So, somebody on camera asked him, "Did you mean it?" He just raises his eyebrows and walks off. That's it.
Yeah, but even on the replays, right, it looked like a perfect strike with the outside of his boot.
It did.
Fine.
But when you think back, I mean, see if you can think of any others. There's only 2 runners up here, and that is Masuaku against Chelsea, and what I thought was a fabulous goal was Lanzini against Palace, right?
Yeah.
That's what I voted.
I
think that's what I voted.
My
the winner
goal
is more about importance and quality, right? So we won't go there for a minute.
Yarmolenko.
Tell me, well, we ain't going to go there yet, but tell me what you think was the best goal. Let's go around one at a time.
Lanzini
John.
Palace.
For me, Lanzini, the way he flicked it up with one foot and followed it on the other. For me, Palace away, Lanzini, definitely.
Yeah. Nick?
Lanzini Palace.
Nige?
Yeah, I mean Lanzini against Palace. If Bowen's overhead kick against Frankfurt had gone in,
that would have been goal of the season by a mile.
Unfortunately, Lanzini's against Palace was bloody special, wasn't it?
Really was.
Let's hope no one beats it this weekend because West Ham have given out their award. Carrot and Booze has given theirs.
Before we move on, can I ask, has Lanzini ever scored a shit goal?
Yeah, it's rare for him to have anything that isn't a fucking absolute world.
It's a bit of a tap.
Oh yeah.
Well, Nige, you're getting ahead of yourself a little bit.
So that's never going to be shit, is it?
Yeah, but Nige, you're getting ahead of yourself. You're assuming that Lanzini won this one. Phil.
I think for aesthetics, then Lanzini. I think for importance during a game, mid-game, I would probably give it to Rice against Lyon away. But I'll go Lanzini if I have to flip a coin.
Right, so Grant, give us the analytical, backed up by data choice.
Nah, Lanzini was what I voted for. But what we forget, super important, Rice against Kidderminster. Shocking bit of dancing afterwards, but
great goal.
That was a massive goal, yeah.
Oh, the Michael Jackson
so long ago, didn't it?
Yeah. But Danny, give us the pink vested view. What do you think?
Do I need to go put on a Hawaiian shirt or something? I said.
Oh, hey, don't start on me, Dan. Start deflecting. Don't start deflecting.
No, stay as you are, Danny. We like you like that.
Look, for me, it's Lanzini, Palace away, but one that I don't think gets enough credit or enough mention was Declan Rice's goal at Zagreb.
That was that was good. That was good.
He went on a little bit of a solo run that was. I mean, to me that was badass. Just because he's not usually that kind of player, and he's starting to show that he's adding goals to his game. So for me, that one was really fun to watch, just because of the run he went on. I wish he would do that more often. Honestly,
yeah.
I'll tell you what. If you're talking
that one, just because it doesn't get mentioned enough.
But if you're talking about magnificence, so right. If you're talking about, I know it is goal of the season, but what about, because obviously we didn't do one for fucking save of the season. So what about in terms of importance? What about Areola's save against Sevilla? Where would that
save of the season? Is it?
No. What I'm saying is, where would that rate in terms of? If we're talking about goals and moments,
in terms of goals of the season, it'd
that's
rate
as good
nowhere
as getting
because
a
it
goal.
was a save of the season.
Right as the goal. I know it's not a goal of the season, but that was a big moment, though.
Yeah, because if he doesn't save that, it's over.
How good was that?
Yeah,
how good was that? It was amazing.
I keep thinking,
what I'm saying is, I'm critiquing this because Gary, he's trying all these things. Put this poll up. Put that poll up. Fuck the goalkeepers. He don't care. Nigel.
Yeah, fucking hell. Where's the goalkeeper?
Don't care about the goalkeepers.
That's what the save of the season.
Nick avoided the goalkeepers. I just copied Nick's polls. He avoided. So anyway, look, and look, I agree with you, Danny.
So save of the season goes to
Areola. The goal of the season, and I must admit, Danny, what you just said, that was indeed a bad arse goal, not bad ass, bad arse. Goal.
Yeah, bad arse.
Arse. The surprising
accent, whatever. It's you guys that have the accent.
Exactly. The Eurovision style winner of goal of the season was Andrei Yarmolenko.
Yeah, it was a big goal. That was a big goal.
Which was
Lanzini's was better.
I've got to say, for me in the stands behind the goal in the Bobby Moore lower, it was probably the moment of the season from celebrations perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, but was it goal of the season?
No, it wasn't in terms of quality of goal.
It's on par with save of the season, then, really, isn't it?
But in importance of goal, it was a
tap-in,
wasn't it?
People have voted.
The people voted. The Facebook group have spoken.
Goal of the season, though.
Goal of the season.
You've not said what is the best goal of the season.
Well, no.
Whatever Nick decides.
Didn't give any criteria.
Yeah.
All right. This is a goal of the season.
You're picking. No, what I'm saying is that is a goal that actually defines the season. If you've got to pick one, you're not going to pick the 3rd out of 4 against Crystal Palace.
But what I'm saying is not Nigel. What I'm saying is Nigel. Nigel, you would have scored that goal what Yarmolenko scored. You couldn't have scored Lanzini.
Nigel wouldn't have scored that goal that Yarmolenko scored.
I'll tell you what. For me, this is a valid goal of the season win. I would support this.
Just quickly, Nigel, you was a goalkeeper.
Can I just point out that John? Actually, you know what it's like in the playground. The worst player gets cuts in goal. Actually, that is not true. Substitute worse for fat kid. Yeah, the worst player. It's put the fat kid in goal. Yeah, well, that fat kid went on to represent his school and his district. Thank you very well. I sat on the bench in the district, but I did think so. I did okay,
and he wasn't the worst player. He was just the 11th, not the best. So leave him alone.
I came pretty good.
11th runner-up.
I was also the mad one. So
what year was that, Nigel?
1981. Funny enough.
I was born. I was just checking if I was born or not.
Do you know what, though? No, but do you know what? It's actually not the case, and I will say this now because I don't know if you know, but I've got my coaching badge now, managing another football team. But no, basically what happened was we lost our keeper a few years ago, and one of our best outfield players.
Did you find him?
No. Yeah, I found it.
Investigating that.
One of our best outfield players. Hang on, one of our.
You lost the kid.
You know what I mean? We didn't lose him. He left. But
you really took what goes on tour stays on tour to a new level, didn't you, mate?
One of our
waiting for him to come home. Nick said he dropped him back 4 years ago. I don't know what's happened.
He's in the basement. I've locked him in the basement. All
right, Fritz,
I'll say, mate, Fritz, was it?
But what happened was one of our better outfield players took the stint in goal. So he actually went in goal, and I thought, no way, there's no way he's going in goal. But my God, he's fucking unreal, and he's changed the way that we play. He's amazing. Honestly, he's brilliant.
So what Nick's saying is Souček's playing as number 1 next season.
Yeah.
He's got it all.
You might have found the new Gianluigi Buffon because he's
brilliant. Honestly, he's brilliant.
Before. I know I have, but there you go.
He was a striker, wasn't he, John?
He was.
Played up top.
I used to man mark him though, so it's all right.
Marked him out of the game. Got chased over one day by Gianluigi Buffon, didn't you, John?
Not Gianluigi Buffon. No. He had a Buffon. It's called a high top.
So we got 2 remaining awards: the Young Player of the Year and the Player of the Year. Right. So this one. So I was surprised.
Loads to choose from here, isn't there?
I was surprised because the runners-up in this category were Harrison Ashby. All right, I can understand that. Right, he played a couple of games.
He's played 1 game.
He played 1 fucking game.
No, he played 2 games. Actually.
No, he played 2. Give him his due. He played 2.
Kidderminster was
one away in the European.
He played Kidderminster as well. That'd be 3 then.
There you go. So stop being hurtful, you lot. And
you know who the analytics guy? He has the stats available. Shut up, Nick.
And you know who the other runner-up was?
Mark Noble.
Nikola Vlasic.
Shut up.
You can tell this is a meaningful and very serious Facebook group, but we got runners-up Harrison Ashby and Nikola Vlasic. Bow down your heads and respect the winner, Mr. Ben Johnson.
That's fair.
To be fair, he's a good player, but he ain't had much competition. He ain't had much competition there, is he?
No, Vlasic is 21, isn't he? Is he 21, Vlasic?
47.
Yeah.
47. Yeah.
Does Declan Rice not count as a young player of the year? I mean, he's 22.
Well old now.
Well, no, he's Ballon d'Or. Fucking, you're talking about right.
Players wait about 2 minutes to the next category, I would reckon, Danny. But just putting it out there.
We've only got one more category left.
Johnny, your fingering.
Just quickly, I've also noticed that I think any minute now, Danny's going to break into a heartfelt remedy because of that new microphone he's got.
Yeah, that's even your microphone's bling. Danny's got a bling microphone. Look.
Oh yeah, this was a gift from my father-in-law.
You never close your eyes anymore.
Small feeling.
That's only little, isn't it?
That's what they all say.
I'll tell you what,
Hey!
He gets that all the time, apparently.
Danny, you've muted yourself, I think.
Sorry, Dan.
Anyway,
he's picked it up and he's disconnected himself.
Plug it back in.
All right, you guys good? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you now. That's good.
Very much so. The last award of the night and all-round bad ass. The runners-up, in no particular order, were Craig Dawson and Gerard. He shags Danny Dyer. Owen. The winner, obviously, was Mr. Declan Rice.
And deservedly fucking so and all.
Absolutely. Honestly,
with knobs on.
You can say what you want about this season, but if we didn't have a world-class player, I don't know where we'd have ended up.
No way.
Do we think no Souček sitting deeper has allowed him to win Player of the Season?
Just the once.
Let's put myself down now. There you go, Danny. I'm going to put you up top.
Happy to be here.
There's a comment in there somewhere. We'll leave it though.
I've gone full.
It's like a Brady Bunch reunion.
Oh, because of the microphone. I get it.
Celebrity Squares.
Yeah.
Come on, Nigel. You'll remember that as well.
I do remember Celebrity Squares.
I did strengthen in January, Freshfielder. My recruitment was amazing. I'll tell you. I have. I've got the most players in under 13s football. I can't pack any more players into my
squad. Got a squad of 46.
45 because he lost one.
That concludes.
Years ago. They weren't my fault.
That's
not true that some of them are 15 either. So
no.
If Sheffield United are watching, go away.
Absolutely.
I've got a 6 foot 12-year-old though. Go figure that. He's got to stop growing.
John.
Yeah.
John. The annual awards are finished. I'm going to hand this baton to you.
Oh yeah, it's me now, isn't it? I ain't done this for a long time, so I nearly died, didn't I?
Go on, John.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Moving on to.
No, John. That's cock of the week.
I was thinking the same thing, but I wasn't going to say it.
What are you talking about? There's no need for that. There's absolutely no need for that, is there? I'm nearly died.
Put the wrong slide.
That's a pre-lockdown picture.
As we know, if I do this, I look like that. Look. Yeah.
No, you don't.
Match of the day. Match of the day. We all love a bit of match of the day, but I'm a little bit bemused at recent reports that Gary Lineker may be losing his job. And who may he be losing his job to at match of the day? Not the fella on the right, but the fella on the left, James Corden.
No.
Listen, I know he's a West Ham fan, but he's an absolute.
I still don't like him.
I still don't like him. As
yeah,
you can see,
he's not fucking funny.
The rest of the pundits on Match of the Day and various other channels are absolutely livid. They don't say he has the credentials. He puts it down to once working alongside Harry Redknapp at the old Football Aid. You know, look, I mean, to be honest with you, look, he looks like me in a tracksuit. So if he can get the job, anyone can, yeah? Manager of the Season awards. Now, we're all a little bit livid by the Manager of the Seasons awards. Those 5 have been nominated. Pep Guardiola, yes, he's done very well. He's got an awful lot of money. I mean, you know, we could all do it, couldn't we? Jurgen Klopp, yes, he's got a fantastic tune. He's got a fantastic tune out of the Scousers over there. And then we've got good old Eddie Howe. Eddie Howe at Newcastle. The shock of the lot for me was Patrick Vieira getting nominated. That's him in a double moustache. Thomas Frank of Brentford has also been nominated. we don't know how David Moyes hasn't been nominated. You know, in my opinion, how far David Moyes has taken us. Oh, sorry. Oh, Nick, wrong picture again. Sorry. No, don't disrespect David. What Moyes has done for us beggars belief how he hasn't been nominated for manager of the season. Someone who's definitely not getting manager of the season, I don't care what he thinks he's achieved after last night's result against Palace, is old Frank Lampard. Although finishing 16th led to wild celebrations and even an open top bus tour this morning.
Yes.
Oh my God! Very quickly, the scenes of last night's celebration, they was marred. Patrick Vieira seen kicking out at an Everton fan. Yeah. And in my opinion, quite rightly, because he was goaded, and, you know, and the guy was right up in his face. They did a few interviews after. They tried to get an interview with Vieira, but he refused to say anything on the matter. Another manager that's having a nightmare, Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta. Now, we always say things go a bit Spursy, but have things gone a bit arsey? Arsenal have slipped up, at the final straw, and they've got a fantastic new Prime video coming out, All or Nothing Arsenal. Behind the scenes footage of the cameramen show the filming of the footage of Arsenal slipping away. And I think doing an arsey could be a new phrase. Images of Bakayoko Sako, the last time Arsenal were in the Champions League. There he is. That is actually him. Aaron Ramsey was an Arsenal player.
Oh, dear.
Yeah. He went to Rangers to do big things for them. But as we know, he missed a penalty. So the Arsenal thing never comes out of your system. Rangers were very unlucky, I felt, and I did want them to win. A lot of people didn't agree, but I wanted Rangers to win. Someone who wanted Rangers to win was Rabsi Nesbitt. He was livid after the game. But he wasn't just angry with the result. He was angry because Seville, the security staff in Seville Airport, they confiscated 15,000 bottles of sun cream away from the Rangers fans, which caused all sorts of problems amongst their fans. And this was a scene at Glasgow International Airport as they landed back from Seville this morning. Now, we always wonder that football fans are a little bit estranged from footballers. The gulf is vast and varied. So I had a little look around the world at what players win when they win man of the matches. There was an occasion when our very own Tony Benrahma, when he was player of the match in the Carabao Cup game, his man of the match award was a Crash Bandicoot game. This is a Ugandan Premier League footballer who got a man of the match award as a pair of flip-flops.
No.
And this is a strange one. Actually, in the Polish top division, he got a chicken for being player of the game. It's not
prize
like the
chicken
old
by the looks of it.
Looks like a prize-winning cock, that.
It's a prize-winning cock.
Hey. Boom, boom.
It's not like the 80s and 90s when fans and players had a tight-knit bond. Who remembers Ian Rush and John Aldridge? They had a fantastic for their fans. But I will say one thing. One player who's trying to do his bit to come close to his fans. Callum Wilson, seen here having a tooth removed to try and fit in with all the other Geordie fans who follow him on a daily basis. Someone who is a little bit aloof from the world of football supporters is Haaland. There he is, the Dortmund striker, soon to move to Manchester City. Now, he may be on £500,000 a week, but the absolute shocking style this guy wears. I mean, he makes Nick's Hawaiian shirt look like
Oh, fuck off with the Hawaiian shirt. That shirt was awesome. Alone. I'm very pro Hawaiian shirt.
Money can't buy style, and Nick's shirt definitely wasn't style.
Don't listen to him, Nick.
I won't.
Ten Hag. Grant's seen it before.
Yeah.
Ten Hag. Disappointed in the news that Cristiano Ronaldo may not be playing at Old Trafford next season. Those rumours mainly came about purely down to the fact that Ronaldo was seen working on a slaughter farm out in Turkey somewhere. Talking about footballers with other careers, I found Mahrez, who plays basketball for Spain, and Mason Mount has moved on to the world of winning awards. And last but not least, Jack Grealish. This is an old photo, but it made me laugh. His twin brother has spoken out about what a twat Jack Grealish really is. And
Brilliant.
that is me done.
Very good, John. Well done, mate.
Well done, John. And very good. And I'm sorry for burping in the middle of it there because
was that you? It was really loud. It was really loud.
Honestly, I've got a mute button which ain't working. I can talk right through my mute button, right? I'm pressing it now.
So you didn't do that to like assert dominance?
No.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
You're on the bottom
works. Last week I was pressing the bleep thinking it was a mute button, and that's what it did.
But that burp was basically
work.
But that burp was basically Gary beating his chest. That's all that was.
That's exactly what I was doing. I was kissing my armpit.
It was. Yeah, that's what it was. So, John, did you have a cock of the week, or is it just a bloke at the bottom of the screen? What is it?
I'm gonna give cock of the week to the geezer who pushed over Billy Sharp, but I couldn't find his photo. Sorry.
He didn't just push him though, did he?
Well,
he was full on nuts.
He encouraged him to the ground.
I will be honest. I've not seen that. Is it bad?
Oh,
yeah.
He come. Yeah, it looks like something out of
Look. Whoa. Let's do it properly, John. Wait.
Hello there. I'm Sally, and I'm desperately disappointed to tell you that this is Cock of the Week.
John. Who's the geezer? Grant, tell everyone what the geezer did if they haven't seen it. Go on.
He just came flying in and just, in a bright yellow jumper, so he stood out a mile and he was easily identified by Nottinghamshire police. And then, just come steaming in and headbutted Billy Sharp. And but in all seriousness, I don't know if you've seen, but basically Nottingham Forest said to Billy Sharp, can we raise money for a charity of your choice? We're really sorry about what's happened to you, but true Nottingham Forest fans will raise money for you. And so he identified a children's hospital, and they've raised thousands of pounds already. So fair play.
I just saw the video.
You just saw the video.
I just watched it. He
didn't tickle him, didn't he?
Yeah.
No,
he didn't encourage him.
No.
Disgusting.
Right.
He's doing 6 months, so
that's about.
He got a 9-year ban as well.
United Airlines, but I didn't, out of respect for my wife and other passengers.
Well, I think I've not been paying attention. Have we been neglecting the comments? Should we run through some comments quickly?
Yeah, I'll go through some comments. I've been going some of them. Hang on. Apparently, Dawson was a championship player in January, and Paul Diop was out. We're fickle as your average PNG Scouser. What's that mean?
What's PNG?
Papua New Guinea.
Papua New. Oh, yeah.
Very good, Grant.
Ashby played against Spurs and Zagreb.
Played well against Spurs as well.
Danny's
came on as a sub in a game as well.
Danny's gone full on Corn. I'm guessing Corn was like a US band.
It's the rock band. Their lead singer uses a microphone kind of like this, but it's like covered in, I don't know, cloth and all kinds of random shit.
Okay,
I don't think he wears pink either.
He doesn't. He doesn't wear pink. Although I will say, I've got way better hair than that dude.
Nigel couldn't carry off pink anymore, could you, Nigel? Let's be honest.
I wouldn't dare try. I think
you told me you didn't have some shit like this back in the 80s.
Funny enough, I
do
remember the older boys like Gary and maybe Phil may remember the old Lyland Scott jumpers that were all diamond up, and I had a pink and one with the pink diamond check Lyland Scott jumper that thankfully no one's got a photograph of.
hang on, Phil's playing Call of Duty. Look, he's doing two things at once.
I can't.
Can't hear you, Phil. Can't hear you, Phil.
There you go. Look.
You have like a gaming headset on.
Have you just landed at Heathrow? Have you just landed at Heathrow?
He's directing traffic. He's air traffic.
Get a standstill for yeah.
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Nesbitt's trip to Seville was ruined by the airport sniffer dogs. Yeah, they probably had a few of them like that. And just a few other people just talking about the guy who got 6 months for headbutting Billy Sharp. But
I can't believe I've not seen it. I can't believe I've not seen that. I'm gonna have to.
Nick, I'll send you a clip of it real quick. It doesn't look great.
No, not great. No.
So what's now, Nick?
Have you seen?
I'm sending it to you right now, Nick.
All right, cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Well, I'll tell you what.
Have you seen?
No. Sorry, I'll tell you what. Unless any of you on the panel have got a, because what we'll do, we're gonna move on to Brighton as the last subject. But I'll tell you what, we'll have one talking point in the chat. If you've got anything that you want us to cover, give us a few bit of a QA. Give us some things to chat about. Anything
while something like that comes in, have we heard anything new about the Ollie McBurney situation?
No, and that I did see. That didn't look great either, did it? To be honest,
it didn't look great. I mean, I saw some somebody saying on Twitter that it was taken out of context. He was just trying to step over it.
Yeah.
The video looks pretty damning, but I can't.
Yeah, but they tried to get, the guy in question tried to get to what's his name, Brewster. You know, the one they got from Liverpool, and I think Ollie McBurney, he don't take no prisoners, and he just stepped in. Basically.
So is that what? So he was basically he was defending.
That's what he said. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and his teammate had just been headbutted.
Yeah, exactly.
And there's no they didn't start filming until.
Oh, so the Ollie McBurney thing is after the player got bloke got headbutted.
Yes. Afterwards, yeah.
Ah, right.
The thing
is, he's got to talk with the authorities somewhere.
It's all about context, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
I've got a question.
There's no video of whatever the guy that's on the floor did. That's the thing.
Maybe they'll have Mike Dean review the tape.
Yeah.
You see, Anthony Taylor's going to the World Cup after Sunday's performance.
What a joke!
He should be going to jail. Unbelievable.
You know who else is going to the World Cup? That referee that was in AFCON that blew for full time at 89 minutes and 40 seconds.
He had sunstroke. It was all right. He was dazed and confused.
He was just very hot.
Yeah, but
exactly. It's air conditioning in Qatar. It's all right. They've got everything. It'll be fine.
Much more favorable.
I'll tell you what.
It'll be all right.
Let's be controversial. Let's be controversial then. Let's talk about Anthony Taylor in that game, in the Man City game.
I know what you're going to say.
Right. Now look. Let me finish. Right. Let me finish. Right. Now, if you listen, I think Nigel will agree, and I know John does as well.
Yeah.
When you think about it, right? I think that we're probably very skeptical about referees in general because look, the standard of refereeing isn't very good. It's not in general. It's not great. And we've had a few really bad decisions go against us. But this was a game against the league leaders that winning that game would have won them the league. You know, they're big money bags team. So if there's anyone that's going to have any bias towards them, it's going to be them. And the referee that we're condemning, he didn't give them 2 Stonewall penalties. And the first one probably would have killed us stone dead because if they go a goal up, we're done. If they go a goal up early on. Yeah, the Zoom one. Okay. If they go a goal up early on, we're done. Now,
do you think he didn't give it because he saw it and decided not to give it, or because he missed it? He missed it, right?
Yeah, I'm saying. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, Gary. But the rhetoric is, and the rhetoric. The rhetoric. The rhetoric was that he was bent. And he was all on the other team. They don't give us nothing. It's all on the other team. Poor you. Victim card is what I'm trying to say. Is what we're starting to develop.
No.
Not Liverpool. What are you on about?
No, listen. One minute.
Stop talking.
Two Stonewall fucking penalties. Imagine how you would have been moaning. Imagine your video that you would have done if we'd have had 2 penalty shouts that they didn't give. Is what I'm trying to say.
Talk to the hand, right? Because I listen. We've got this guy on Twitter who's also a friend on Facebook and everything. Ian, who is a proper referee, and whenever I go in attacking referees, he comes back at me and attacks me with vitriol, pure vitriol. He says, "Do you know how hard it is? difficult game, blah, 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 blah. He didn't do anything wrong. According to the rules, what he did was absolutely right and everything else right. In this instance, even Ian said, yeah, he fucked up 3 or 4 times.
But the worst thing that he did was against Man City.
Right.
No, it
Nick,
wasn't.
I'm not being funny.
No,
mate,
it wasn't, because the free kick for Soufal's own goal. That was
a free kick. It was a free kick.
It was soft.
You're too close to your mic, Nick.
Right.
Free kick. Basically, he's gone in. Antonio's gone in. He's gone into who was the defender's name? I can't think of his name now. Soft. He's gone into the defender. The bloke's gone away from him, and Antonio has missed the ball, and he's gone knee to knee with a player. He's given away a free kick.
Soft.
So you wouldn't have wanted that free kick down the other end?
No way.
Okay, listen. Fernandinho could have had 9 yellow cards.
No, I don't agree with it.
Yeah, no, mate. Honestly,
37-year-old playing out of
yeah,
position.
that's Fernandinho. Fernandinho's the master at
player, though.
Yeah, I get that.
Honestly, I'm saying there is a reason we're feeling victimised. But there is a reason we're feeling victimised because we've had some really shitty decisions going against us.
No, he was awful.
But
he was worse than Mike Dean the other week. I didn't think I'd seen anyone worse than Mike Dean this season. He was worse than Mike Dean. He was awful.
Nigel, offer some balance. What do you think? Obviously, I'm one way.
Oh, now you go Nigel for the voice of reason when it suits.
No. There needs to be a voice of reason.
Out of you lot, who wanted VAR introduced when there was no VAR?
Not me. Never.
Gary
I
did. Because I thought.
I was all for it.
Yeah. John, was you for VAR?
No, not at all.
Never.
No.
I was never for it.
No. So because basically, so what I say to you three is,
can I say, Nigel,
complaining. I don't want to hear you complaining. This is what you got.
Nigel, before you go on, if it had been the VAR that we see in rugby, for example, then that's what everyone was kind of expecting. But the VAR experience that we're currently seeing is nothing like that. I mean, especially like the offside trap, where it is literally millimeters, and you're supposed to give the, offensive player the benefit of the doubt, and it comes down to whoever's, sort of comb their hair forward that fucking morning. It's ridiculous.
I'm going to say what I think in this instance, right? And I'm going to say what I think, and Nick ain't going to like it, right? Like Paul says, can't agree, Victor can't. These refs have been a joke. I think Nick decided that we were all taking the obvious decision that the referee was shit, and he decided to go the other way.
That isn't what I No. John will agree with me. No, I never ever look for an external reason when we haven't. We basically got a brilliant result against them, but you are so blindly biased that you will literally go. Even the Antonio foul. Watch it back and tell me that's not a foul. Actually watch it back and tell me it's not a foul. It is a foul.
Antonio got grabbed and thrown to the floor in a wrestling move that would suit Danny's. Seriously.
But Grant, can I give you my rationale on that? Okay, my rationale is Antonio's game is about being a beast. We love the fact that Antonio fucks defenders up. He goes up to them, he roughs them up, he gets all in there.
I don't think he does, mate, because I think he never gets a foul. He gets chucked to the floor. He gets fouled all the time. He doesn't get anything.
He shit as he stands his ground. He knocks them all over the place. And the problem is, he does get fouled. I agree with you. But what happens is, when he decides to go down, he goes down in stages like a fucking sack of spuds, and it doesn't look genuine.
I don't agree.
He doesn't dive.
I think he doesn't dive
because he's not a cheater.
I think he did it once.
Voice
in the
of reason
second half.
between the Killingtons here, I think that.
Well,
I agree with both of you again because Nick sorry, that way. Nick is right. He does when he does decide to go down, he goes down, and but he goes down because every other player in his position up top does the same thing and gets away with it, right?
Yeah.
Gary, I know what Gary's going to say as well. I know what Gary's going to say now as well, which is that's bollocks. Like there's a little bit more physicality with him. I would say out of the 4 highlightable, mentionable challenges, fouls on Antonio in that City game, 2 of them absolutely genuine, didn't get. The other 2 come on, he definitely
yeah,
he went down easy.
And the thing is,
but any other team, any other player, they get that. Top player,
and the
top
other
team, they get that.
And the other thing, Phil, as well, like people were using comparisons on Twitter. They were going, "Oh, if Salah does this, if Kane does that, blah blah blah." Well, I'm not being funny. But you're talking about players that are specialists at doing this shit. What Salah will do when he runs into that box, he'll see a challenge coming in. He'll basically flick his left foot out into the player and get fouled. He'll buy the foul and he'll go over. But
does that make it right?
No, it doesn't make it right. What I'm saying
but
what I'm saying is Antonio tries to do the same thing, but he can't do it because he
Salah's better at diving, so therefore he should get more free kicks and penalties.
I'm not saying he should get more, but if you're going to dive, if you're going to dive, you've got to be good at it. Otherwise, you ain't going to get a fucking foul, are you?
No, but Antonio, to my mind, he only threw himself down to the ground once, and that was at the end of the game where he had given up all hope of getting a free kick, and he threw himself down.
No, Gal, I disagree with that. The early doors, the first one where he went down, it was proper obvious, and that's why he didn't get the next 2 or 3.
They're blindly biased, honestly.
No, I'm not biased. It's just some of these things are down the other end, and my eyes are bad.
Way too easily. That he goes to ground way too easily. There are times when he gets desperate in late situations in a game. He's not immune to that kind of criticism because, the guy's built like a brick shithouse. He is hard to bring down, and there are times where he just doesn't get the fucking calls.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. And I agree with you. And I agree with you. But like I say to you, I think the reason and what I will say is there are sometimes when he don't get the calls, and this is why he tries to dive because sometimes he does get manhandled. But the fact of the matter is, we've all seen it. Antonio does. It's 50-50 with him in defenders, and we love it. It's a battle with him in a centre back. They have a war. They go to war. Right,
they are scared of him. I get it.
Yeah. But they go
that are knocking the ball around in the Champions League are scared of face
honestly,
him.
If you're a centre back going up against Antonio, you're going to be black and blue the next morning.
To balance that, then, Gary, in all honesty, right, asking you plainly, not digging you out. In all honesty, 100% the time Antonio goes down in the box, is it a genuine fail? Or are some of those really soft?
Not every time, but I think he does get a raw deal in the same way that a lot of West Ham players over the years. I mean, you remember Di Canio, who had against Bradford, who had probably 3 clear-cut penalties. You know, that was against Bradford, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I agree.
It wasn't even against one of the big sides. But we do not seem to get the decisions, and I always track it back to West Ham being more. You know, what we tend to do is we don't chuck ourselves down. We don't do what Nick said and get really good at the cheating.
Do you know what?
I'm a supporter of getting a little bit better at the cheating because if everyone else is doing it, you might as well do it as well. That's my view.
No, mate. Yeah, that is a fantastic point. No, that is a fantastic point. Sorry, Nigel, I'll let you jump in. I just want to say this because you've sparked something I've been thinking all week. That game against Man City was toe to toe. No one was really, in essence, chucking themselves about.
They weren't cheating. No one was cheating.
No.
It was a genuine battle. 2 good teams against the other, and we can sit here now and we can probably name 5 matches we've had this season, if not more, where we have seen that tomfoolery, that throwing themselves down on the floor to get that advantage, which is kind of accepted in the Premiership these days. We don't do that. We are so fucking honest, and that comes from Moyes downwards. Yeah. It's like and there was I think I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Antonio. I can't remember, but it was earlier on in the season. Somebody called it out and said, "Oh, went down really easily there," and Moyes actually went, "I'll be having a word about that because that's not part of our game." In fact, I think it might have been Ben Rama, but that's not part of our game. We don't play that way. That's not us.
That's not the West Ham way.
No. Huh? But what I will say is right, and I'll go John on this. Of all if say you can pick out two instances where Antonio was wronged, was the fouls against Antonio were they any more blatant and damaging than the 2 penalties that the referee didn't give to Man City? I know that VAR overturned it, one of them. But in the first one, you had the referee and VAR ignored that first one. That was a blatant penalty. The first one.
Yeah, I mean, look,
and that's the thing. VAR's fucked because
which one are we talking about? The Zuma one.
The Zuma one. That's a penalty.
Yeah. So you think that was intentional?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter anymore.
Contact was still
Grant,
made.
It doesn't
Fair
matter
enough.
if it's intentional or not.
I didn't know. Watching it live, I didn't notice it. But
No,
yeah.
but you watch it back. That is a penalty.
The thing is, Nick watched it on TV. I watched it in the stadium. When you watch it in the stadium, you don't see all the replays. When you watch it in the stadium, you do get caught up in the hysteria of it all. The fans jumping on the referee's back. Now, what I would say about Taylor was, as bad as he was for us, he was as bad as he was for them as well, because he missed the first penalty. Yeah, because if you think about the decisions, he missed the first penalty, right, and VAR did, and he also missed the second penalty, but VAR gave it. They were both penalties, and he missed both. So, in theory,
I think he's a very cautious ref.
They could have more of a thing against him than we did, because technically they could have won the. I know they missed one of the penalties, but
it wouldn't have mattered because they didn't convert on the penalty they were given anyway.
John's bang on.
But he made bad decisions for us, but he also made bad decisions for them. But
he's not a bent ref, and it weren't biased.
I think the thing was.
Do you feel like that was a wash almost?
Yeah, he's not biased. We're honestly, with some refs, you might be able to call it. But what I'm saying is, every time we don't get a decision, every time we don't get a result we want, and if a fucking referee dares to not give a foul that we need, it's toys out the pram, referee, and it isn't that every time. It isn't.
I'm sorry, I'm conscious. I cut off Nigel earlier, so Nigel, go on, sir.
Thing about that black country there, he says you could, but when a computer system gets it right. Yeah. It ain't a computer system. It's a referee.
It's a bloke watching it on TV.
Studio. It's another
referee. From human error.
All we've done is we've took the referee on the pitch, and football's only got itself to blame, because I think it stemmed from the managers for years when they lost, coming out and criticising referees. Because generally, it was only the teams that lost that criticised the referees. It was never the team that won. Yeah,
Mourinho at Chelsea the first time when they banned pitch side monitors for managers to have, because Mourinho would look at it and then abuse the referees. So the Premier League banned that.
Klopp's murder as well, isn't he, when he loses?
This is and this is for me. I don't think any referee walks on the pitch and thinks, is gonna deliberately give decisions to one.
I think Mike Dean is the only exception. Mike Dean's the only exception.
No, I don't think it's true. I don't think they favour big clubs over little clubs. I think they call it as they see it. At the end of the day, the referee's decision is final. That's how the game should play, and you've got to accept that he's a neutral.
Can I pose a question then, Nigel, on the back of that comment? Are you in favour, or let's ask the panel, who's in favour of referees coming out after a game and taking an interview?
Oh, as well? Yeah, 100%. They should be made to answer for their question. I
think sometimes, I'm not saying it's deliberate, right? As Garino says here, he reffed a match once. Is tough. Yeah, bloody hell it is. And I've only reffed young kids' games as well, right? And by the way, Nick ain't even done that yet, right?
I just manage a team, Gary. That's all
is. No, I know
you second, didn't you, mate?
I know you do. Stop. But if you want to be,
manages kids
in the eye of the storm,
Gary sends young kids off. Nick just fucking loses them.
I'm just basically Pep. I'm not Pep Guardiola. I am.
When you've been slagged off by a group of 14-year-olds just for giving a penalty for your team, that's the same.
Honestly, our coach refereed a game last weekend, and even our coach got abused by my own players.
Yeah, they do. All these.
I blame the manager in that circumstance, though.
Yeah, Freshfielder makes a great point there. Refs should be mic'd up as well as being interviewed. They've done that in the Australian A-League, is it? I think.
Yes, it is commonplace for the refs to be mic'd up.
They did it in the Premier League with David Ellery and
Tony Adams. Tony Adams gave him some.
But that builds trust. If you think of it this way, when you get pulled over by somebody, by a police officer, things go a lot more smoothly if they explain to you why they're doing the things they're doing, right? Yeah. So what are referees doing? They're policing the fucking match. Yeah. So if you understand their thought process and why they make the calls that they make, and you hear that, whether it be in real time or the day after, I don't care. that is only going to be beneficial for the trust that referees have.
I find it quite intriguing in rugby. With a few times I've been to rugby, you can actually fucking hear the conversations going on. It's interesting.
Yeah, with
what's coming down from the booth up top from the VAR judge is coming down to them.
Can't do that,
and there's a lot more
because of
there's a lot more respect as well for referees.
So that's what we also need to that's what we need to introduce in football is only the captain can speak to the referee.
Comes from the managers though. If at the end of the day, we all know the managers, if they're coming out constantly criticising the referees, the players are going to be they're going to be looking at that and take it from there. If you look back to Brian Clough used to tell his players, don't argue with a referee. You ever seen, and Clough was right, you ever seen a referee change his mind because you argued with him?
No,
exactly.
never.
Walk away. Referees, you listen to the referees that refed back in the 80s and 90s. They loved Clough's teams. No trouble. And
but they won't change their mind.
Grant makes a good point there.
Yeah, no, hang on. The Man United theory was under Alex Ferguson. It wasn't you're going to get the referee to change
much
their
pressure
mind
as possible
with that decision, but with the next decision, it puts something in the back of their mind, right? That's why they gathered around them and why they bullied the referees, because they might make one decision wrong, but they're going to think twice when they make the next decision. Right? It's all about putting pressure on the referee, and that is bollocks.
No, it's not. It's not even pressure, Gary. Accountability.
No. I'm talking about teams like Man United in the old days under Ferguson. They used to gather around. They used to gather around the referee and bully the referee, and they would never change the referee's decision. But come the next decision, it would invariably go Man United's way because he don't want any of that crap anymore.
No, fair. I follow you now. Yeah.
He doesn't want Ferguson moaning to the FA and everything else, because there were times when Ferguson was in charge where the referee was never going to referee another Man United game again, and he got away with that, right? He got away with that.
Remember that?
Yeah. So all that nonsense has to stop. And I think accountability. If you're in a position of power, as you said, Danny, you said as a policeman where you're enforcing the rules, if you're a referee enforcing the rules, you're in a position of power, a position of privilege. The least you should do is come out after the game and explain your decisions. What is wrong with that?
No, it should happen. Yeah. It should happen 100%.
I think it's
coming.
But you know, I will.
The trouble is,
go on, Grant.
In some ways, I agree. The ref comes out and explains his decision, but then he's got to come out and maybe explain human error. And so if he then comes out, the referee either comes out and says, "Yeah, I was spot on. That was absolutely right."
Yeah.
And then gets destroyed the next day in the media. Joe Blogg says, "I made the right decision. Video evidence says he was wrong." Or he comes out and he says, "You know what? In the heat of the moment, I thought I was right, but now I'm wrong," and then gets destroyed for saying,
I think you're right.
Made a mistake.
Because the issue that you've got in football is I mean, you've seen it ourselves when you're watching live football. You've got a panel of 4 ex-footballers sitting there, right? And you've got some decisions. Do you know what? It's subjective. You'll have two people that are saying one thing, and you have 2 people that are saying the other. There are certain things, certain instances that happen. Yeah, you got cut and dry. You got offsides. You got the fucking, is the ball over the line or not? But then there are some others where it's a little bit more complicated than that. But what I will say is, I think with some, I'm not saying there isn't bias. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I'm not. All I'm trying to say is against Man City, I don't think that was the case for me. I don't think the ref had a good game. I don't think he had a good game, but I don't think there was bias against Man City towards West Ham.
What I'm saying is, Nick.
No. But hang
on a minute.
Let me finish. What I'm saying is, do you not think there is a difference? You know, when you're playing against a team, Nigel, if you're playing against a team that has got 80% possession, right? They're moving the ball from left to right all over the place. Basically, West Ham players were in the middle of a fucking 90-minute rondo. They're dogging, they're going after players, constantly trying to get that ball back, snap it back. We are going to make more fouls than Man City because they've got 80% of the ball. We've got 20%. We're trying to get it back. Naturally, we're going to make more fouls than them. It is going to happen.
No, I don't agree, mate.
I disagree. I disagree totally on that. Totally on that. Because I think what happens is subliminally in the referee's mind, it's not deliberate. I'm not blaming the referee saying that he favours Man City over West Ham, but subliminally in his mind, he sees a challenge of a West Ham player on a Man City player, and he doesn't give it.
Bullshit.
Whereas the other way around, he sees a player. No, he doesn't do it deliberately. He does it subliminally, right? This is
in your mind.
In my
opinion,
opinion, at the game, a natural instinct of a 50-50 in that game against Man City last week was a 50-50 would invariably go the way of Man City.
Explain the two penalties it didn't get given. Explain the two penalties it didn't give.
No, forget the penalties. I'm talking about decisions all over the pitch, 50-50 here and now. And it ain't all about the key decisions like the penalty or the thing that led to the goal, because all those are relative anyway, right?
Oh,
Some free kick leads to this, leads to this, leads to this. These decisions were happening all over the pitch, and a 50-50, which could have quite easily gone to us every single bloody time, went to Man City. And anyone, even ex-referees, watched that game, said he had a bad game. So accept he had a bad game because he did.
I said he had a bad game, but I don't accept he was biased towards Man City.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, I don't accept he was biased.
I don't think he did it deliberately, but I think he did it subliminally.
I'm going to say to what I say to my 4 kids here, right? Huggles, kiss, say sorry. All right?
Yeah.
You both actually agree, but you agree in different measures. That's it. I think Gary's attitude is over the period of a league, like, we're concentrating on one game to kind of encapsulate that, maybe. So we agree. I think everyone's in agreement that, especially maybe where Liverpool are concerned, where we do have some experts, shall we say, that go down in and around the box, they get their more. I'd love to see some stats here, but they get more than their fair share of those decisions given against them. Now, Nick's attitude there would be, well, they're going to have, because they'll have more possession. Gary's attitude is, well, they're likely to get that because A, they're fucking good at throwing themselves on the floor, and B, it's a bit bent because referees are going to feel more of a pressure on their back from a bias towards a top 1, 2, 3 club, whatever. I think both can overlap. There's a Venn diagram there that actually states like where you're both correct.
Kind of like the yin yang.
Well, it's like looking at fucking Anakin and Obi-Wan here with the white and the black that they're wearing. Dan.
Phil, can I ask you to get off the fucking fence? Who do you agree with?
Right.
Who do I agree with?
What I'm saying is,
I inherently hate all Premiership referees. They're all cunts. I wish they'd give us more penalties, and I wish they'd give more fucking red cards against their opposition. That said, we have probably, in the last 2 years under Moyes, we've probably had not... I'm wrong. I'm waiting for Nigel to fucking slap me around the face with a wet fish here. But we've had... probably statistically, because I've had a few beers, the same amount of penalties.
You're such a cock, you know that.
I know.
You really are.
Just so you know, they're available in the Claret & Booth shop.
Let's just say we've. All right, this is the best way. This is what I want to get across. We've gone up the table, but our level of shit from referees has stayed to where we normally fucking live. There you go, mid-table.
That wasn't directed to you, Phil. You were looking away from the screen. Nick flashed up a victim card with my face on it.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
All right. It could have equally have fucking applied to me, though. So
no. But he's no, I didn't mean it to you. I meant it to him. He's such a prick. He really is. Go on, Nick.
Right.
Anyway, Gary, now you're nice and calm. Can you move on with the Brighton review, please? That's all right.
Oh, moving on.
No. Before we get to that, more importantly, can we have Danny pump some guns in his top before we do that? Look at that.
Yeah.
One for the ladies there. God.
That's an air pistol. I don't know about a BB gun.
One for the ladies or the men.
Who said BB gun? Who said that, eh?
BB gun.
There's not a whole lot there. You guys saw me in person. I'm not yoked. I'm just healthy.
But you are a handsome devil, Danny. You're a handsome.
It takes one to know one, Nick. I appreciate it.
It's nice to see you not squatting, Dan.
Oh, hang on.
What?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Does it everywhere he goes. What is?
Everywhere he goes.
Yeah, that's it.
Danny loves squatting everywhere he goes.
Danny.
It's the Slav squat.
Yeah.
trying to put a coffee table book together of photographs in front of historical sites where I'm doing the Slav squat, and I guess my pen name will be Salvador Dali.
Well, me and John were talking about that, and basically we agreed that the pair of us would probably shit ourselves if we tried to do one of those squat poses.
Nick wouldn't get up.
Well,
after the Black Lion, if I remember, we've walked up and we tried.
Yes.
I thought I ain't doing it.
I don't remember if we did it if we did the squat in Dog Shit Alley, but that would have been a very fitting place to do it.
No, I think it was in the middle of.
Oh, that's
Upton
right.
Garden.
Yeah. The last little bit of grass.
Nigel was leaning over like some some sort of uncle.
We were almost lined up the way Wales do whenever their football team plays with the odd formations.
I put a bit of weight on some, but you don't have to call
With
me
the blowholes at the top and the flippers on the side.
No, like the country.
The country.
Oh, right, okay.
Right, Gary, move on. Brighton.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. Thanks.
Now your blood pressure's nice and low. Go on.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm just gonna, just got to say, add to that comment that Danny just said. After a while, you'd learn in 20 years or so. Bows are non-optional. There's kind of a, there's not much control when it comes to.
When I turned 30, my best friend said, "Don't trust a fart ever again."
No, never do, because you could follow through. Yeah. So, listen, this is an unprepared. Danny's built like
no.
Oh, that's harsh. But
so you're saying I'm inconsistent? Is that it?
That's what exactly. That's what I took from that comment. That's what I took from that comment. So
check the stats. You're like the third in goals and assists for the team. It's all good. You're just underrated. That's all it is, mate. Don't worry about it.
Danny's squats are on fire. Danny's up on Roma.
This is going to be a completely.
Can't all be Nigel Khan guest of the season, can we?
No, that's right. This is going to be a completely unprepared, and you'll see it in a minute. A completely unprepared Brighton preview. I'm going to be completely biased. I'm going to be totally biased. I'm not going to base this on any data or any analytics or any reasoning. I'm just going to be completely biased about West Ham's game away.
Well, Gary, I've fucked up here, right? Because I've been so busy all week. I've got the Canning Town Lem photo that I've got to give away. John, Nigel, can you talk backstage about a question that we can ask? Carry on with your thing. I'm going to go and get the picture. I've got to give the picture. I'm going to go and get it.
Oh, yeah. So we have got.
You do that, Nick.
So we've got a Canning Town Len picture to give away. Anyone, sorry guys, user on the show, you can't enter, I'm afraid.
Oh,
hold on.
People would accuse us of,
just a guess. Fucking hell.
People in the chat, right, how are we going to do this? Think of a question, Nige, that we can give people in the chat, and it's going to be the first person to. How are we going to get them to send it to us?
I'll tell you what. No, take my.
Just message it. Put it up.
No, hang on. Take my.
Go off here. Me and you go off here. I'll give you a question.
No, hang on.
We'll talk about it and then come back on.
I'm going to put.
How many games did Frank McAvenny play in 1986?
I'm going to put my personal email address in the chat. Right. All of your responses, send to my email address.
You are fucking brave, Gary.
That is very brave, dude.
Gary, not all heroes wear capes. Well done for that, son.
It's not my work email address. It's my personal email address. I don't give a fuck what lands in there. I can get loads of spam already.
Tell you what, the number of Nigerian princes that we hit you up this week.
Every porn site you can imagine.
That's right. So the answer's 42 according to Dan.
They'll all come up. This email address is already in use.
That's an answer after my own art. 42.
Dano boy, we're not asking for the meaning of life, mate.
So if you when you eventually get a question, when Nigel and John and everybody have had a conference off air, send your answers to gary.killington@gmail.com.
Very original.
And then burn that email address afterwards. Right. So, the Brighton preview. Now, look, I'm not going to do any technicalities because I don't know who plays for them. I know they wear a stripy kit. I know they've done quite well. I know they've won 11 games this year. They're sitting 10th in the league. They've won 11. They've drawn 15. They've lost 11. I think they haven't scored many goals. They've scored 39 goals with a -4 goal difference. Their current form. I mean, when you look at their current form, Brighton, they've drawn, they beat Spurs and Arsenal. They drew their last one, but before then they beat Spurs and Arsenal away. This is a side on form who've only lost 1 in 5.
They create a lot of chances. They just don't score a lot.
No, they don't. But they don't let in a lot either. They don't concede a lot. And so Brighton are our nemesis. We cannot beat fucking Brighton in the Premier League.
I'd love to beat these bastards.
Right?
I really would.
This is the chance where we've got a whole week off to get ready for it, Sunday to Sunday, a whole week off, almost 100% fully fit squad apart from McBonner. There is no reason why West Ham in 7th place in the league and Brighton scraping, clutching onto 10th, why we can't go there and turn them over. We are due a win against Brighton, and that is my full justification that we're going to go down there and beat them 3-0. So,
and furthermore, Palace have got to be pissed off that they didn't get a result this week. And we need them to beat Man United.
That adds to it as well, because Palace want to finish above Brighton because there's an M23.
Which Brighton, yes.
Yeah. Did you visit the M23 while you were over here, Danny?
No, I did drink with a Selhurst Park boy. Drank a lot with him, and he explained in much better detail than I initially understood why those two clubs hate each other.
Did he teach you some of the dances?
No.
So
no, he did do the Slav squad on the on the tables in the beer garden where we were.
He didn't do the choreography.
Yeah.
Well, none of their songs have got words anyway. They're just kind of noises. They're noises, rhythmic noises.
I did get a video of him telling my best friend back home to fuck off, though.
Really?
Yeah, he was very nice.
So material.
No, the Nigel swear, did they? They swear. Right.
Flip off, you winker.
Yeah. But the way I work it out, Crystal Palace are in 13th place on 45 points and Brighton are in 10th place on 48 points. There is a significant goal difference. I mean, Palace are +3, Brighton are -4. So basically, if they get a win and Brighton lose, Palace go above them. They are their nemesis.
That's right. Which would be ideal for us, yeah. That's what we want, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And you live out that way. You probably live in the M23, don't you, Grant?
No, complete opposite direction, but well done, mate.
I think he's more the A40.
You're closer than I am.
It's down there, isn't it?
Yeah, you're the down there. I'm the other way, mate. But yeah.
Seriously though, I mean, Gary, it's important to the fans. How important is it to the players? Half of which, if not more, are going to be sort of foreign imports, if you like.
They're going to be on the beach, or are they going? Well, you've been down to Selhurst Park. It's a lovely little cosy ground. Last game of the season, probably I would have said in the sunshine, but it looks like, according to weather forecast, it's going to be in the pouring rain on Sunday. Last game of the season, home to Man U, where you can put Man United into potentially the Conference League. That's like stopping them getting into the Champions League, right? I mean, it's a slightly different level, but you know what I mean? That is like punishing Man U and putting them into the basement of Europe, and that is not where Man United typically belong, is it?
For me, I think Zaha
is where they deserve to be.
It's going to have
maybe not where they belong
based on this season. Yeah, I think Zaha is going to have a bit of a personal vendetta here. Obviously, having been at Man United and flopped, shall we say?
Yeah.
I think in the last season and a half, he's probably hit his prime. If the prime is, throwing yourself to the floor near the penalty area 3 times or more during a game, then he's definitely hit his prime. But they're under Vieira, who Nigel pointed out, of taking them from 14th all the way to the illustrious heights of 14th. They seem, dare I say it, a steadier ship this season, though. That's the difference. There's there's not so much up and down with them. There's not so much sort of draws and losses and the occasional win to make up those numbers. They seem to be able to hold their own a little bit more. So especially on form of maybe the last 6 to 8 weeks, ignoring the Everton game, I really think they'll give Man. Well, all right. Let me rephrase that. I really hope beyond fucking hope that they give Man United a game, and I hope beyond that level of hope that we obliterate fucking Brighton, because not only do we never beat those bastards, if there's a one time where we have to fucking beat them, it is this weekend.
Yeah, they've been such a.
I don't care if it's scrappy 1-0.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a dominating 3-0. I really could not give one fuck.
Right.
Let's just beat them. Let's just beat them. Let's nick that 6th place. Let's get back into Europa, and let's fucking take it on all over again. Because you know what? That was the right challenge for us. I think conference. I don't mean to be disparaging, but conference I think is a little below us now under Moyes. I think conference is a level below where we need to be. Europa was the right level. The Lyons, the Sevilles, the Frankfurts, they were the test. They were our metal. And we fucking met that metal. And do you know what? Against 2 poxy things that happened against Frankfurt, that early goal and that sending off, I genuinely think we could have fucking won that. So I want us back in that Europa.
Yeah. No, I agree, and I think that's us completed in lower tier. We're going to wait for Grant. Grant can be last on this because he always gives analysis and a little sense of doom, right? So we're gonna go round the house and come back to Grant. So we're going to start off with Nick. What do you think is going to happen on Sunday, Nick? You're on mute.
You're on mute.
Thank God.
Which I like.
That was brilliant. Best
I'll
ball
the mic.
of all night.
Here.
What do I think is going to happen on Sunday?
Yeah.
With West Ham.
Yeah. Well,
we're going to win. We're going to win.
How many?
We're going to win. I would say 2-0. 2-0 for me. I think that's a safe bet. I do. It's long overdue. And yeah, we're going to give it to them.
Excellent. Brighton are going to get rumped. Danny?
They're going to get rumped.
I could see this being a bit of a battering, and I'm going to go 4-0 or 4-1.
Oh, I like your style. John,
there's a saying here. It's last game of the year. Can't hold anything back now.
That's right.
Typical American razzmatazz there. Look at that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Go on, John.
I think we'll just do what's necessary, mate. I think it'll be 1-0 West Ham.
1-0. Nige?
I've booked us a 2-0.
2-0.
Yeah.
And finally, Grant, spread doom and gloom. Go on. What do you think is going to happen Sunday?
No, I think we're going to win. We'll win.
All right.
I think this is going to be the home leg against Seville. It's going to be the away leg against Lyon. I think they're going to know that we need to do that. And whatever happens, end of the day, even if Man United win, I think we'll go out and win as well, because we'll just know that that's what we've got to do. There's leave everything on the pitch and
Grant,
we'll pick up again in July when we go pre-season.
Do you think Man United will win then?
No, I don't. I think they'll. I think that's a draw. I think it'll be a draw or a Palace win. But I think
clarify this for
I think Moyes will.
If United slip up and drop points, let's say they get a 1-1 draw at Selhurst Park, don't we? If we win, don't we overtake them on goal difference?
Yeah, so we do. Yeah,
well, we do.
So, Grant, you've got us for Europa next season then?
I think Moyes will send the players out knowing what they need to do. And I think Brighton will sit off us. I think it will be a low block and they'll try and nullify everything we want to do, our the counter-attack style. Yeah. But I think we'll leave it. I think we'll come away on Sunday. No, we gave it all, and whatever happens, whether we, win, lose, or draw, whatever happens in the United game, I think we'll leave it all on. We'll leave it all there at the Amex. So
And this is why that point that we got against Man City Sunday was so important, because if we win, we can afford Man United to get a point. We can afford Man United to get a point. As long as we win, we go to Man United and win. And if Man United turn up at Sellers Park and turn them over, good luck to them, right? But I don't think they're gonna.
Gary, with respect, I totally appreciate and to a huge extent agree with what you just said, but there's other results earlier on in the season which we lost out on making points in the last sort of 10 minutes that if they'd have been different, we wouldn't be where we are now. We'd already be coasting. We'd already be way above. So I don't want to be in that kick someone while they're down or whatever. As a West Ham fan, we don't expect consistency. And the fact that we've kind of hit an up and down trajectory this year that didn't bobble up too far and too down is great. But there's been some fucking kicks in the teeth on the way. Let's be honest.
That's the thing, Phil. And that's what I think sometimes. Yeah, you have got. I don't know how, but you have got some entitled West Ham fans now. That's not me. Am I ambitious? Yes, I'm ambitious. I always want more. And the thing is, I've only ever known us to be fucking. We've struggled. It's been this, that, the other. But what I have seen this last few seasons is opportunity. I saw it in 15-16. We fucked that up. The following season, we fucked it up. It doesn't come along very often. We've got opportunity now to build on something. That's the only reason I'm a little bit panicky. I ain't going to stop supporting West Ham if it goes to shit again. We've always been kind of that way. Yeah. But I'm smelling something. I can see kind of us progressing if with a little bit of the right investment and maybe a little bit of luck. I think that we could take advantage of a very. Do you know what it is? A little bit of a. We've got Declan Rice. Declan Rice, as you said earlier on,
world
Phil,
class, yeah.
And I think everyone else will say you take Declan Rice out of this team, we're 10, 15 points worse off. We're nowhere near where we are. It is as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And the same applies next season. People can play that down all they want, and they can say, "Oh, he's only one player. He's only this, that, the other." Well, and this is the thing. And that is what will keep Declan Rice, because Declan Rice does want to win trophies. And do you know something? He's that good. Declan Rice is that good that if we invest and we build around him, you haven't got to spend an absolute fortune. But if we do add some better players around him, I think that we could do wonderful things, more like much better than what we've done, which has already been wonderful. I know Nigel's probably snarling back there, but we've been great for 2 seasons. But I think with a player like Declan Rice, he's going to be the England fucking captain, that bloke. You know he is.
Do you know what? Not Nick, that's an amazing point. I've never thought of that before. But you've absolutely hit the nail on the head there. With Declan Rice,
there's an opportunity.
And I'm like, no fucking jesting here. And I don't mean to dig you out, but I'm shocked because I've never thought of this before. You kick Declan Rice and you add to that. You don't have to add world class there, world class there, world class there. You just have to add pretty good, really good, fucking blinding, because it comes down to the spine of the team again, right?
Yeah.
You get a really good keeper, you get a really good pairing of centre backs. Get a really good forward man to complement what you've got in the middle of the park there.
And as you mentioned that, my wife sitting across from me mentioned that exactly is why PSG are throwing everything in the kitchen sink at Mbappe.
Yeah, exactly. They can't let him go. He's that player. He's that player. He's that player.
I am not comparing the two in terms of talent.
No, but I think comparing
the two in terms of importance to their club.
No, but I think they are comparative in terms of talent in their positions.
Their positions, yes, that's fair.
Declan Rice is the Mbappe of midfield, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, that's a great point.
Not a lot of players better than him at his position.
No.
Let's think of the top 5 leagues in Europe. Let's think of the top 3-4 teams in each league. Who wouldn't take Declan Rice over what they've got at the moment?
Walk into any starting 11.
Most of those he'd walk into there's one or two where he'd be on a par or as a reserve to what they've already got.
Right, no, hang on 1 minute, gentlemen. I'm going to have to break this quickly because I proper fucked up tonight. This is our last booze up. Canning Town Len's been lovely, and he sent me a really nice portrait to give away. Nigel and John, have you got the question ready?
Yeah.
You have. All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to play the video first. This is a portrait, and it is a print. It's not the original, but it's brilliant. I've got one myself. It's going to be up on my wall shortly. But this is a video.
Winston Reid is the man, and West Ham lead for the second time tonight. There is a fifth goal, and it's theirs.
Right. Now, anyone that talks about any fucking game, like for me, I was at that game. Look, I weren't lucky enough to be at Sevilla, but I wouldn't swap that last game at Upton Park for fucking anything. It was one of the most magical things I've ever experienced with my two sons. With my two sons, it was amazing. It really was. We was never going to lose that game. We was never ever going to lose that game, you know. And Man United needed that win. And do you know what? That was a perfect example of. I know you could say we did it at Sevilla, but that was a perfect example of how Upton Park and the fans were part of the game. Yeah. We fucking abused De Gea for how long? Like for most of the game, he fumbled that last one. We played a massive part in that game. That the fans did, and what a fucking beautiful moment. And like I say, Canning Town Len has painted that goal just fucking brilliantly, and he is fantastic. I've got loads of stuff from him.
I've got to add, wasn't that a good get back for them for them knocking us out of the FA Cup that season?
Yeah, look, if you want me, I'm really expensive. You can buy.
You need to put the Hawaiian shirt on that though.
What's that background?
You need to be wearing the Hawaiian shirt.
Milan Station. That's where I was born. I wasn't born in Milan Station, but
they found him in the phone box outside. Isn't that
right? That's right.
But honestly, he's fucking superb, Len. He really is.
He's amazing.
Can I just say, Nick, if you can put that picture up again, you can feel the movement and the energy from the crowd in that.
Honestly, I will never. I don't think
it's not like a snapshot.
Do you know what? Yeah, people will talk about Frankfurt with a constant fucking barrage of noise, but you know something? The emotion that we felt that night. You know, I had a fucking. I had a. How old was Ben back then? What was he? You know, the kid who couldn't stay up past 9. It was like 10, 11 o'clock at night. He was up on his seat, his eyes wide open. He was he was buzzing. They will never, ever, ever forget that night. Them boys.
No,
I took my oldest then. Amazing. That was probably, how old was he then? I guess. I don't know. He's probably a 9 or 10. My oldest then as well.
Yeah.
Took him to that fucking. No, there's. Over the years, I started going at Upton Park probably a couple of years before his age, and it was back of the old South Bank, occasional West Bank when we had a bit of a treat, but it's usually back of the old South Bank, and that scene that night from the I think it was the Trevor Brookings stand, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Row X, which is one from the fucking very back. But throwing it my youngest in the air as we scored that goal, bloody hell! Oh,
no. It was a different class that night.
But like I say, anyone that wants anything like that done, canningtownlen.com. Just to give you a bit of a heads up on the sort of stuff that he can do. I've already said 3 times tonight. I managed my son's under 13 team up. None of them watching because as a bit of a surprise, I've been requesting portraits at Len. I am sorry, they've been really slow to filter through to me. Len's also he's going to do a squad photo for me, and hopefully, if we get him through in time, he's going to do some individual pictures for him as well. He's fucking brilliant. Honestly, he's amazing.
Yeah, he's a nice geezer as well.
He's
John upset you this week, is he, John?
John and Len fell out this week, didn't they? John, did you do it? John, did you do it?
You did it.
If Cannington Len is watching, if I have you do an illustration, can you have me do the Slav squat?
No sloth squads and no pink
no, do you know what, Danny?
I'm not gonna wear the fucking tank top. I'm gonna wear a proper West Ham top.
Danny, you got to.
But I'm gonna do the sloth squad.
No, but honestly, superb, great guy. Met him in person. And
can I just say,
he's a fucking they're brilliant.
Go
Good work.
So my missus got me my avatar for my birthday this week.
It's
and
sick.
So I went to upload
Love
it. So I uploaded it at work, and my work rejected it because they said you can't have football teams in your official picture.
Yeah.
So I mentioned that just casually, and Len's like, "No worries. Well, let me know who you work for, and I'll do you a work one." And just like I was like, "No, don't worry, it'll be fine." Told him I worked for, but I said, "Don't worry about it. I've appealed it," and within 2 minutes, he sent me it in my work with an official T-shirt with my company logo on and the company's colours as my background. He's a great guy. He's absolutely unbelievable.
He really is. He really is.
In real life, he's a bit of a miserable fucker. So,
he's a good laugh, though, isn't he?
He's a good laugh, and his prices are ridiculously fair as well. I think what sometimes people they forget is when you send him a picture, he has to animate that. There's labour involved in that. He's got to put a day, 2 days work into that. Then he's got to print it, and it's and honestly, it's well worth the money. Yeah. He's brilliant,
and he will do you a good deal. He will.
John,
if you check,
John, how much was yours?
45 quid.
175 quid.
But you got we've had a
can't put a price on beauty.
Hey, John, how big is your head?
No, we've had a special
has
done
he not
before.
landed his aeroplane yet? Is he still here? Has he not landed his plane yet? What's he doing? What's going on there?
Hold on. I'll get me table tennis rackets.
Like Nick was talking about, with getting his kids thing done. We got one done with about 50 people, right? And it's a fucking amazing picture. And not only did every person who contributed to that got their own individual pictures with the different backgrounds and everything else. Yeah, it's Colin, who sadly left us a couple of years ago, Colin Mill. And Phil was in that photo as well. And basically we got all of his friends together in a photo and had all their avatars done and everything else. And it was such a beautiful thing to have done. He loved it. He absolutely loved it. And but that aside, he cuts you a deal. When you do something like that, you ain't going to be paying the full price for everyone. You just need to get in touch with him. It ain't one of these websites where it's just all fixed prices. Just go in there and speak to him. If you've got something special you need doing, negotiate a price with him, and he'll do something good for you. It's always good stuff that comes out.
But at the same time, don't be a tight bastard. He's got to earn a living as well. At the same
just one thing though. Just one thing. The best thing about it is he sends you an email link, so you can print them off as many times as you want. I've had mine put onto cups, coasters, so it costs you. You get that.
How big was that cup, mate?
Again.
To my understanding, and I haven't commissioned an illustration from him, but to my understanding, he puts you in any big illustrations from then on. If you,
yeah. He's pretty.
And Danny, cool. You need to get yours done in that pink top, by the way.
I don't want, dude. I am only wearing this because it is hot,
mate. You've become a legend already. Right now, you've become a legend already.
Right. So
in all seriousness,
Look, hang on.
What's the pink ladies?
What's the question? Hang on, Nigel.
Yeah, the trigger question.
Nigel, who's the question? I ain't got a clue what the question is.
Nigel's going to give the question. Just let me say. So Nigel's going to give the question. It's 5 to midnight. We're going to give it 5 minutes. You got our email to gary.killerton@gmail.com. The first right answer into Gary's inbox will win it. That's the only way we can do it. So the first answer that he receives in his inbox will win the Cannington Lem picture, and then we'll sort out sending it out to you as and when. So the question that Nigel's going to give to you, I'm also going to post in the chat if you don't understand his out of towner accent. Go on in, Nigel.
Fuck off. So the question is, who was the last West Ham player to score 20 league goals in one season? League goals. The last West Ham player, 20 league goals.
I think I know that.
I know.
think I know that.
No, you can't say it. Phil, don't say it.
No,
Don't say
put
it.
the answer in the WhatsApp, Nigel. Put the answer in the WhatsApp.
No, put it in the
Was
private.
it me though?
Nigel, is that exactly 20 or over 20?
Or 20 or over.
20 or over.
Okay.
Whilst people are scrabbling around on Gmail or Google about that and entering emails and stuff, I just want to hark back to something Gary said, which was a comment about a mutual friend of ours, Colin Milne, who sadly passed away probably about a season and a half ago now, Gal.
Yeah.
And if you want West Ham through and through, he was your man.
Yeah, he was.
And a lot of us had our portraits done prior to his passing. Unfortunately, he passed through cancer, and we all paid Canning Town Len for our portraits to be done, not only for ourselves, for our own personal amusement and pleasure, but also to be included in a larger picture that was presented to Colin whilst he was battling cancer. So from me, and I suspect from Gary as well, there's a little cheers, Nick. Well done,
absolutely.
Cheers, son.
Yeah.
To remembrance of Colin, a really good friend, a massive hammer, and someone who would always be welcome here because he kept us fucking.
I'll tell you what he was.
I'll
tell you what he was as well. You've seen me on Facebook the way that I've been over the past. He was my fucking nemesis, Colin. He was brilliant. Honestly, he was amazing.
He never fell out with you.
No,
no way. Kept you grounded, but kept you as a friend.
He was witty. He was quick. He was sarcastic as anything. He really was. But yeah, great guy. He was absolutely great guy.
Big remembrance to Colin. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me do that, guys.
I totally agree with that. And when I took going on to Canning Town Len, he did this photo of 50, or this drawing of 50-ish. There was probably more than 50 friends of Colin. He did this thing together. You know, we presented to Colin. It was probably just a few weeks before he went into the hospice, actually, and he ended up, on the way out. He absolutely adored that photo. Yeah, he adored that picture that Canning Town Len produced. Real top quality stuff. So brilliant from him. Nigel, can you send me the name of the person of the answer?
It's in the private chat, yeah.
It's in the private
Will
chat.
somebody verify my guess? I didn't want to say it.
Don't say it out
No,
loud.
you were wrong.
I was wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, is that who it was, John?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Who was it?
No, it weren't.
I can't see the answer.
Yeah.
Is that who it was?
No one's getting that. Surely no one's getting that.
No
It doesn't
one
have
is
to be.
getting that.
It's not always top flight. Remember, it doesn't have to be when they're.
I'll tell you what. So far, let me go through some of the responses. So it doesn't have to be top flight. Actually, and you're allowed
I
more
didn't
than
say
one.
top flight, did I?
No,
you're allowed.
You didn't.
You didn't say a lot of things.
Very true, sir.
You're
Could
allowed
be
more
top
than one
flight, though.
response. So
Could
Sean
be top
said,
flight.
It ain't.
It's not, but it could be.
Sean Cronin said Trevor Morley. Nick said Tom
Ooh,
Cotty
Morley,
and then
Morley.
Tony Cotty. Clive Trevelyan said the answer is Bobby Zamora. Alfie Southby said Johnny Artson. Glenn Marshall said Johnny Artson. I thought that was the answer, Johnny Artson, actually. So did Clive Trevelyan
as well, yeah.
And,
Gary, can we just
goals.
outline what the question was again, please? 20 goals was it in a league?
In
the
or in a
league.
season?
in the
goals
league
in
in
a
a
season.
league season. In a league season.
No, I
So
would
that doesn't
never,
mean
ever
Premier
in a million
League.
years guess that. No
That doesn't include the
Yeah.
cups, etc. Right? It's just the league, yeah.
Yeah, just the league.
So we give it a few seconds and see if we get a right answer through.
I've just found it. Nigel's right. Yeah, I've confirmed it.
We've got no right answers so far. Now you lot have had your chance to be able to Google it by now. So I'm surprised we haven't got a correct answer coming through.
That's
I've
bad,
got an
really,
answer in the back chat. I'm not sure, but I've had a stab.
Can I? Shall I give people a clue?
Yeah, you got it right, Phil.
we've never had
really
goal scorer in the Premier League score 20 goals in one season ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Right. So let's move on, and I will keep an eye on my inbox, Nick.
Yeah.
Jeff
Okay.
Hurst. No, it's not. No, it's not Clive. It's not Jeff Hurst.
Jeff.
Nigel, I don't want to hijack it, but 15 Cotty, was that the most for one player in the Premiership?
No.
Oh, right.
I think Di Canio I think Di Canio got 16. No, not I think. Di Canio got 16.
Yeah. 99-2000 season.
Yeah.
Right, so it's not. You just got to think. You just got to think, and I'll give you a bit of another clue. Right, it wasn't. It was in the. It wasn't before.
Question.
It wasn't before the 90s. I'll give you that, Phil. I'll give you that clue. It wasn't before the 90s.
So what's the email again, Gary? Just tell him the
Gary.Killington@gmail.com. I just posted it a little while ago.
Okay.
Send me your responses.
And can I just say, Gary, I'm a little disappointed that you didn't give out Nick's personal email address instead.
No way.
Honestly, my work email address, you're never going to get it. But my personal email address, I don't give a toss about it, to be honest. I'll just let you know this. It is what it is. Going by Google.
No, sorry, I've done that wrong. I've just wrote gaykillington@gmail.com.
Yeah, cheers, Nick.
Gary.Killington.
Never misses a chance, does he?
No, I wrote it wrong. I wrote it wrong.
Gary, you need to wear
we have a
one
winner.
of those tops
We have a
Danny's
winner.
got.
We have a winner. We have a winner.
Who's it from?
The very first person to come up with a correct answer, which is Teddy Sheringham, is Alfie Southby.
Yes.
Can you get him to send you his address?
Congrats, Alfie
Well done, Alfie.
Well done, Alfie. If you want to send me your address, we will send you that that lovely picture from Canning Town Len.
He didn't send it to gay.killington@gmail.com.
Clearly didn't, no. But thanks for your work, Nick. Really good.
Oh look, Alfie's said, "Woo!" He's actually on the chat. Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Nice one, Alfie.
Here we go. Well done,
Nice
Alfie.
one, Alfie.
Yeah, good stuff.
Well done.
Right, so what are we doing next, Nick?
So good night, aren't we?
I think we've done them. I think
that's
now
about
I feel privileged that it's only 6 p.m. where I'm at.
Yeah.
You're still wearing that bloody thing.
Like the sun's not even gone down. It's not.
We keep going until Danny reach midnight.
We've got our club tournament tomorrow, so we all get roped in to help out. So my team are playing in the afternoon. We start at 12:30, but in the morning I've got to go and help out with setup. So setting all the goals up, setting everything up, and everything. Then I'm on the barbecue between
eating.
Between 9:30 and 12:30. And after that, I'm on. I do get Sunday off though. I'm not doing Sunday this year, but yeah, it's a full day's work for me over at Cuffley.
Don't lose anyone, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
I know.
Anybody check on that goalkeeper?
Do you know what, Nick? You've said in the last 20 minutes. You lost a child, and you've been asking all the kids to send them a portrait of themselves to you.
Oh
You
no,
ain't
the
gonna
parent.
go back.
The parents, not the kids. I haven't got the kids' numbers.
You want pictures of the parents?
Yes.
You know anything. You should see his other green screen. Jesus.
Yeah.
You guys are a different class. I'm telling you.
Danny, as for you, Danny, there's a comment here. Danny needs to sing "Let's Get Physical."
Danny will never wear that. Danny, can I ask you a
Wait,
question?
like the fucking Olivia Newton-John shit? No. Not because I don't like the song, but I just don't know the words. I don't want to butcher it.
Danny,
like I know I've got a cool crooner's mic in front of me. I'll take a different request.
Danny.
Yes.
You've known us a long time now, yeah? You've met us in person. You know we're piss takers. At what point did you think wearing that would go unknown?
Brave.
So look, this happens every time I wear this shit with my friends.
Has Mercedes got your vest on? Just out of curiosity.
He's doing it on purpose now, isn't he?
Okay, so Nigel, since you mentioned it, she's actually wearing a Hawaiian dress.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, there you go. Look.
Hey, hello, Sadie.
Aloha.
Hello, Sadie. You all right?
I'm wonderful. Hi.
Good
Do
to
you
see
let him out in public dressed like that?
I don't. It's good for a laugh, so I let him do whatever he wants.
I like the fact the dog had a pink a dog collar earlier. It sort of matched.
Oh, yeah. She's my beefy girl.
When she's feeling bad about herself, she says, "Hey, Danny, throw that on.
Wear some tropical colors. Make me feel better." No, this is something I wear anyway. I'm not wearing it ironically. Like it is 30,
Really?
like it's.
No, you need to have a sense of humor to wear it, right?
Degrees here almost.
Hang on. You're talking. Listen, John comes on the channel probably 5 times out of 10 with a pink Ralph Lauren shirt on, don't you, John? You like a bit of pink.
I like pink. Some of us can carry on. Me and Danny, you know, as we discussed, me and Danny,
you like a bit of pink.
me and Danny are very similar looking people.
We should dress up as each other for Halloween.
It takes a real man to carry pink off. That's what it does.
In touch with your feminine side, lads. Well done.
Actually, to be fair, John,
I'm in touch with my wife's feminine side, not mine. But
it's like looking at a before and after shot.
Kinky.
You mean before?
But for the high heel to be thrown like off screen there. Yeah.
Can we do a revote for this to begin with?
Well done, Dan. You won Slimmer of the Year.
Somewhere along the line, somebody hit copy.
If we switch them around, look, hang on 1 minute. If we do that,
look at that.
In 6 months, you could look like me.
On a diet of beer and whiskey.
Yeah.
And not much else.
Oh, anyway, look, that's enough. I've got a long day tomorrow. Gary, over to you. Sort it out.
Yeah, look, thank you very much, everyone that's joined, and thanks very much for joining us this season. We've got one more show to go, which is on Sunday night, to talk about the magnificent Brighton win and our imminent qualification for the Europa League, giving us another beautiful season next year, right? So yeah, thanks for following us this year. Thanks for all your comments in the show tonight. It's been a lovely show. I've really enjoyed tonight. It reminds me of the Christmas episode we had a little while ago. I love it when we're in big groups. But anyway, that is it from us. Thank you from let's go round in order of importance. So we go Nigel first as the guest of the year. Thanks for joining, Nigel.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, boys. Actually, I think you've set up a wonderful thing here. It's
cheers,
something
mate.
that's different. You know, it's hard to be a bit different when there's a lot of channels out there, and I think you manage it, and all the stuff that you do to help me as well and what I do. I just want to say thanks a lot.
Always a pleasure, Nigel.
Yeah,
thank you,
Nick and Gary.
Only Nick and Gary.
You know what?
You know what?
He's bitten. Go on, reel him in.
It feels like when I'm driving my cab. Everyone wants to know me when they're in the back of the cab and I'm getting them where they want to be. When they close that door behind them, they don't even look back and see how I am.
They've just seen the bill. They've just paid. They paid a $5 just to sit down.
£3.20 minimum.
Danny.
They want to know how you doing, but they don't ask how you doing.
Well, they don't really care.
Yeah.
How are you, man?
It was a bit like when I was dying in hospital. Nick kept messaging me, going, "When you're back? How are you? When you're back?" I'm like, I'm not even out of hospital yet. I don't mind. Nick loves me really. But...
Yeah,
I do love you.
So we go transatlantic next. Danny, thank you for joining.
Oh fuck! I gotta say something. Okay,
Yeah.
You guys really have started something pretty brilliant here. It's been almost a year since I've been talking with you guys about West Ham. Just little old me, 4,000 fucking miles away. What it had culminated into with the tour of Dog Shit Alley and the old Upton Park area, and being there for me and my wife's very first West Ham game, being the first leg of a Europa League semifinal, was absolutely insane. The result, really, everything that happened took a backseat to the occasion. I can't thank you guys enough for being so open and treating me like family. I felt more at home in London than I have anywhere in the world besides where I'm from. Like, obviously, like, it felt more like home than where I'm currently sitting now, and you guys played a big part in that. I can't,
because you are family, Danny.
Yeah, you're not like family. You are family.
You guys have treated me like family, and I really do feel that that connection with you guys. You greeted me with arms wide open, and everybody was
and some Jaeger bombs.
Super cool. With me. I was so hungover from my friend's wedding.
Danny turns up. He says, "Oh, I was at a wedding last night. I drank,
a half Irish wedding.
I can't drink. And we did. We made you. We made you drink through it, didn't we?
You believed in me.
We resuscitated him. We knew he could do it.
You believed in me, and you guys were a great time. We can't wait to do it again. We will try and go back next year and spend another maybe week or so in London. So let's try and get more of us together, whether it be for dinner or a good piss up. Just thank you guys for everything. I do look forward to hopefully creating more content for the channel, especially when West Ham aren't playing. You guys know I'm absolutely insane about this game. I love all you guys. I really do. And
cheers, man. I'll never forget when you came up. I'll never forget that day when you came in to the bar hungover. I was like, "Damn, what do you want?" I'll have a Bloody Mary?
A Bloody Mary, yeah.
And the woman behind the bar was like, "What the fuck is a Bloody Mary?"
She made her first Bloody Mary.
I said, "Have you got some?" I said, "Have you got tomato juice?" She went, "I've got this tangy stuff." I said, "Have you got vodka?" I said, "Whack it all in a glass. Just give it to him."
I will say, I've had much worse. I've had much worse.
Yeah.
No. So next, Grant. Grant, thank you for joining us.
No, thank you for having me, guys. Thank you for sending me a link. I really appreciate it.
Gary.
Better late than never. Yeah, and Phil, thank you for joining us.
Seriously, thank you for having me. I know I've been a guest towards the end of the season, a fill-in, if you like, but I'll always do my best. I'll always speak my mind. And I know that other guys that would have been here, like Dave Hurst and Brennan, if they could have been, it would have been even better. But
shout out to those guys, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Bang on.
Are you accepting an award on their behalf or something?
No. That would be Nigel.
Oh, yeah.
No, a late joiner, and someone that I try to produce content, shall we say? Questions and answers.
It's it's been a pleasure. You know, Phil. I mean, it's a shame that Mike and Dave couldn't join us tonight as well. You know, it would have been nice to have a nice, even 9 people on the board.
Yeah.
But Mike's going through a tough time at the moment, so thinking of you, Mike, and
what's that with him?
Yeah, and so let's go to the other ones. Let's go the last two. John, a few final thoughts.
Well, yeah, it's been interesting, isn't it? I've enjoyed it. I've never been into social media until I started doing this with you lot, and I've met some interesting characters, some not so interesting characters. I enjoy it. I still find it hard. Nick knows I struggle with all the bullshit sometimes, but I love doing it now. And I, through my near-death experience, which I don't talk about a lot, you
barely mention it. Yeah.
And let me just
worse than growing toenail.
Let me bring.
Can you tell us about that? I'm not familiar with it.
I had my bollock chopped off. There you go. One thing I'd like to say: why he wins Guest of the Year, my mate Nigel. You know what Nigel did one time when I was laid up? I've known Nick 35 years, yeah. So Nick just sent me a few messages. Gary brought me up a charger and a Tesco meal deal at the hospital. Very nice of him.
Hang on.
I mobilised Gary.
I got to pull you up on that. No, you didn't fucking mobilise me. I offered. But I got to tell you, John, you played me down because it wasn't a meal deal. Those items were bought separately.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
In 3 different Tesco's. I'll have you know.
And then when I got home a couple of days later, because as you may have noticed, I like my grub, and I kept going on about bagels and that. And Nigel, who I'd never met in person, had driven all the way from East London, turned up, knocked on the door, and delivered me some salt beef bagels. So
hang on.
Here.
Yeah, so well done, Nigel, big tart.
Is it a bagel or is it a bagel?
The bagel, even a bagel bake in Brick Lane, it would be a bagel.
Brick Lane, yeah. Nigel, you going from Brick Lane, yeah?
Yeah, I was there today. Yeah. So
best meal I ate the whole time we were in the UK was in Brick Lane.
Yeah, I normally pop
you had a curry down there, right? You had a curry down there.
Ruby at this place, not Aladdin. What was it called?
Aladdin.
Sheba. It was called Sheba.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, Danny. I'm surprised you're still alive, son.
That's where I went the night that I had a drink with you lot. I went and took myself for a curry for one down Brick Lane. Beautiful night. Lovely ending to a beautiful night.
Flavor town.
Yeah. And I like the way John was getting all emotional talking about bagels and someone chipped in bagels.
Just getting involved in everything.
In New York State, they call them bagels.
Exactly. So Nick,
now, let's get on to the next least important person, Nick.
Well, the final and most least important person, Nick, who started all this stuff. So, Nick, a few words from you to end this season. We're back Sunday, by the way. This is just
never talk your shit.
Never just
like Mark Noble's
this is the last home game of the season, Gary.
Yeah, it's the last home game,
It is.
Thank you for working for me for the last few months.
I will say this has been a fucking roller coaster, hasn't it? John will know this, because like John said, John's had a wobble. I've had a wobble. Gary's because it is hard.
I had a wobble.
You have. You always have.
I've had no wobbles.
You had a wobble on screen tonight, Gal. So what I was going to say. But listen, it's been amazing, and some of the people that we've got to meet. I mean, like I say, Nigel, fucking Phil, Grant, Danny. Like Danny coming over.
Been EastEnders,
and
Phil and Grant.
Phil Grant, I know. No, but that's been but honestly, Nigel, that's been the best bit about doing all this. To be honest, it's just literally just been getting to know people and everything else, and sometimes life does get in the way of making fucking videos and stuff like that. But you know what? We're kind of we're stuck with it, and it's been brilliant. I've loved it. It's been a great experience, and we're hoping to continue into next season as well. So we're going to have a few weeks off. I think we deserve that.
Can I just add? We're only having a few weeks off because Nick's going on holiday. That's the only reason I'm allowed time off.
It's fault for Gary. Gary's got to spend 2 weeks in a villa with me.
Well, look, I just look.
How happy you look.
Listen, I just look on the bright side. A week before we're due to leave, Nick finally booked his fucking flights. Yeah, excellent.
I thought you was going to say vasectomy then.
Yeah. Anyway, look, thank you all for joining. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for all your support throughout this season. Will you see Sunday night for the very last show before our break? Until then, see you soon and come on your irons.
Come on your irons.
Nigel,
Gary, you waiting for me to play the outro video?
Yeah, go on.
You didn't play an intro one. You're going to get this one right.
Yeah, you fucked that up, didn't you?
I've had a busy week.
Yeah, what?
And
now, put out.
News.
Sorry, not them one.
Right.